indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Okay, Mr. Clerk, would
Hello,
you please
everyone.
run through the agenda?
Hello, everybody.
Yes, Mr. President. Items 1 and 2 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 3 through 19 are items for which public hearings have been held.
There it is.
Items 20 through 33 are items for which public hearings have not been held. Items 44 and 45
He's
are
heating up
closed
like a
session items
trending
considered by the
topic.
Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee. Item 46 is a closed session item for which a public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, without objection, those items are now before
Sorry,
us.
guys, I'm
So
still
members,
trying
you
to
have,
fix this
any items you'd like to call special? Any specials? Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to call item 19 for a separate vote.
I don't know what the fuck's
And for item 9, I'd like to move that we adopt the Public Safety Committee report.
Okay, without objection, Mr. McCosker.
I'd like to call item 4 special for a substitute motion that the city attorney has and can read into the record at the appropriate time.
Thank you. So I will read in, I'll read in the moving clauses. So it provides that now therefore be it resolved that inasmuch as the city attorney is an enforcement officer and an issuing department officer of the ACE, which is the Administrative Citation Enforcement Program defined in section 11.202 of the Municipal Code, and the City Council hereby acknowledges that status by expressly adding the city attorney's office as an enforcement officer and issuing department empowered to enforce violations of any provision of the municipal code under the ACE program, and be it further resolved that the city attorney is hereby authorized to modify the process set forth in ACE to implement the ACE program if needed for the addition of the city attorney, including implementing citation forms, administrative procedures, protocols, appeals to a hearing officer, and designation of a citation processing company as the city attorney determines is necessary or appropriate for administrative citations issued by the city attorney. And finally, be it resolved that the city council directs the city attorney to report on a quarterly basis on the issuance of ACE citations, including the geography and municipal code related to the citations presented by you, Councilman McCosker, and seconded by Councilmember Soto Martinez. Thank you.
Okay, any other specials? Councilwoman Park,
I'd like to call item 8 for comments, please.
okay, for comment. Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to call, I would like to continue items 28 to 34 for 2 weeks to June 27th.
Bro, what the fuck?
And item 4 for special for a separate vote, please. Thank you.
Okay, which item for special? I mean, for a separate vote?
4.
4, okay.
Thank you.
I can't even believe this shit, man. Hello? Now my mic's not fucking working.
And
Any other
Councilmember
special
Hello?
members?
Can you guys
Councilmember
hear me?
Hernandez, to confirm, we're continuing items 28 through 34 to what date?
Items 28 and 34, yes. Thank you.
Can't hear myself. Fuck!
To what date?
June 27th, please.
Thank you.
Okay, without objection, that will be the order. Any other specials, members? Mr. Soto Martinez.
Yeah, we have an amendment for item number 2.
Yes. The motion, I'll just read it out. So it's to this is with item 2, which is the application for determination of public convenience or necessity for the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-site consumption at Color Club at 641 Northwestern Avenue. The motion is to, 1, determine that the issuance of a liquor license at Color Club at 641 Northwestern Avenue, which is really located at 641 through 649 Northwestern Avenue, will serve the public convenience or necessity and will not tend to create a law enforcement problem. 2, grant the application for determination of public convenience or necessity for the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-site consumption at 641 Northwestern Avenue. And 3, instruct the city clerk to transmit the determination to the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control as required fundings under Business and Professions Code Section 23958.4, presented by you, Mr. Soto Martinez. We do need a second on this.
Fucking great. I don't hear myself at all.
Mr. Blumenfield will second. Thank you.
Okay, any other special items, members? Okay, we're now able to vote on items which have not been called special. Mr. Clerk, which items are before us?
The council may now vote on items 3, 5 through 7, 10 through 18.
Okay, those items are now before us, members. Any comment?
There.
Let's open the roll,
Hear myself now.
close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
And Mr. President, for the record, item 15 will be held over for second consideration to Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, unless reconsidered with 12 members present.
Okay, fine. Let's move on to the closed session items considered by the Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee. Mr. Blumenfeld?
Yes, items 44 and 45 were heard by the Budget and Finance Committee. To have it discussed in open.
Man.
46, however,
Sucky.
as I understand, will be heard here.
Yes, we haven't satisfied public comment on that, so it both
Yo,
requires
yo,
public
yo,
comment, and I believe we'll go
yo,
into
there's
closed.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's
All right.
open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
Mr. President, there are settlement amounts to be read into the record.
Shit is all the way.
Pardon?
There are settlement amounts for items 44 and 45.
Thank you.
For item 44, in the case entitled Malka Dasa versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement. For item 45, in the case entitled Silva Manvelian versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $300,000 in settlement.
Okay, any other discussion of these items? See none, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, the council may now proceed to public comment.
Okay, before we go to public comment, we have a special announcement by our colleague, Mr. McCosker. Floor is yours, sir.
Now, why is that not doing
I am so honored and excited today to welcome Children's Institute, CII, and Watts, and two groups within CII, the Youth Council and Project Fatherhood. You're going to stand up in a second and you're going to wave to the cameras, but let me talk about you for a little bit, okay? Since 2007, the Children's Institute has worked in the Watts community to transform the lives of children through free, high-quality early childhood education, counseling services, workshops, and a lot more, because I've seen it firsthand week after week. Beginning earlier this year, the Children's Institute Community Ambassadors, convened their first Youth Council. The council does provide a safe space for youth, by youth, to gain leadership and professional development through community engagement. The council brings young people from across the district and beyond, so throughout the 1-5 and even outside the 1-5, for youth ages 12 through 16 and transitional age youth as well, 16 to 25. The Youth Council has a great curriculum, which includes Government 101, which I had the honor of speaking at one day, organizing advocacy strategies, developing advocacy messaging, which is so important for representation, and we'll be meeting with my entire 1-5 team today to share their ideas to help us do our jobs better and to improve things like community safety and engagement for our youth. So, Youth Council first. Please join me in welcoming the Youth Council. Stand up and let's give a wave. This is your city council. So just as you are a council, this is your council here. So thank you for being here. But it's also appropriate as we approach Father's Day, that we have the men from Project Fatherhood with us today. A dear friend and a great leader in the community, Keith Parker, is here with his colleagues and friends and the folks in the program. For over 20 years, Project Fatherhood has served more than 15,000 fathers and 23,000 children across LA County. They support fathers in building healthy relationships with their children and their partners, enhancing their parenting skills, and achieving economic stability. I've had the chance to attend Project Fatherhood meetings, and they are emotional and moving and helpful, and it's really wonderful to bond as men over our important role in society. The Assembly member, which also represents much of the 1-5, my friend Mike Gibson, will be declaring June as Fatherhood Well-Being Month throughout the entire state of California. And I'm in full support, which is why last week we introduced a resolution in support of his bill, which is H.R. 36. Father involvement has constantly been linked to positive outcomes for children, including improved school performance, enhanced emotional and physical development, and increased engagement in positive social activities. Good parenting, good fathering creates that. That's why it's so important to support fathers in their mental health and their well-being and their journey. I'm pleased that you are here today. It is said often, but when we honor a person or a group, it is usually for just a day. But you all honor and uplift fathers and fatherhood far beyond just Father's Day. It is your everyday mission, and our communities are better for it. So Keith and the entire Project Fatherhood contingent here today, please stand. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to meeting with you today, and please welcome to your City Hall. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. McCosker, and thank you for sharing with us some of the jewels in the 1-5. Certainly appreciate the role that our youth are playing and their involvement in the council. Keep up the good work. And of course, we have to salute our dads. So thank you, fathers, for all of your leadership, for your help, and for your love.
We've got Bush.
Again for the 1-5, for our youth and for our fathers. Thank you. Okay, members, we're now going to move to public comment. Mr. Clerk, could you please read the rules?
Yes, Mr. President. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for a participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Let me repeat. Call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for a participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
For members of the public calling in or in the room, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak on. You have 1 minute per item to speak, up to 3 minutes total, and if you wish, 1 minute for general public comment. Please speak to the items before beginning general public comment. We'll tell you when your time's up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you're not on topic, or if we can't tell whether you're on topic, you'll get one brief warning from me or the president. At that point, you need to get immediately, clearly on topic. If you don't, or you again stray off topic, unfortunately, you'll forfeit your speaking time, and we'll move on to the next speaker. The items that are open for public comment today are items 1, 2, 4, 20 through 43, except for items 28 and 34 that were continued, and item 46. So again, that's 1, 2, 4, 20 through 43, except for 28 and 34 and 46. You're free to speak about any of the other items or anything else within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city in general public comment. Now, as you were told, when it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will prompt you to press star 6 to unmute yourself. If you don't do so, you'll be prompted once more by council staff. At that point, you really need to press star 6 right away, or unfortunately, we'll pass over you and move on to the next speaker. Finally, there is a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, so two things are important. First, when it's your turn to speak, turn down the volume on any other devices like Channel 35 or YouTube that you're listening to. Between the time delay and feedback, it really causes a huge amount of confusion if you're listening on the other devices. Finally, when you're waiting your turn to speak, please keep one ear to the phone so that you hear in real time when it's your turn to press star 6. If you're only listening on the other device because of the time delay, you may not hear right away and you could get passed over. And with that, we're ready to take public comment, although I think...
Okay, before we go to comment, we're going to have a presentation, introduction by Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And Streffen, I never realized how thorough your instructions were. Thank you so much. But colleagues, this morning I am very honored to be joined by some friends, some colleagues that have been instrumental in helping us lead a reformed public safety agenda that puts the tools in our interventionists in their hands, that properly trains them and prepares them for the critical work that they do. And I'm very honored to be joined this morning by two incredible community leaders that we will also be hearing in Public Safety Committee this afternoon as a revisit to talk about the work that we were able to fund in Project Turn. And that is none other than the incredible Akila Sherrills and Akil Bashir that are here with us this morning.
Bro, doesn't even fucking control it.
You know, in the wake of some of the work that we've been doing with GRID, with community interventionists, it was critically important as Chair of Public Safety for me to continue to advance the reforms that we were leading in this city. And it was in a very hot, sweltering heat that I went to New Jersey to look at the work that Akila has been leading, that so much was really introduced here in the streets of Los Angeles. But it has been successful in its evolution and an important factor in how they have helped to systematically really reduce violent crime in Newark, New Jersey. And so we are bringing some of those very same training modules here in our community, working with interventionists. And so this afternoon in Public Safety Committee, we're going to be learning some of the results of that
mass shooting
work.
last night.
But, these two gentlemen are
want
no
your
strangers
guns,
to many
homie.
of us. They were
Did you
involved
see
in
anything?
some of the initial
Did you see
peace
anything
treaties
of it?
on the streets of Los Angeles, have been engrossed in this
Nothing.
work for
I didn't see shit.
decades. Not that we want to age anybody,
Mass
but
shooting.
let's be honest. This has been going on a long time. Listen, I didn't earn this gray by accident, and and there's like some less top cover over here. But if you guys, I would love to invite you to the mic and be recognized. Please, a round of applause for our
doesn't
colleagues
even
and our
control
friends
the shit
in
no
doing
more.
this work.
I know 10 people dead.
To City Council,
I know.
thank you all so much for the great work that you're doing in the city in terms of making LA safe. I've had the fortune and the pleasure of growing up in Watts and organizing a peace treaty that literally changed the quality of life in our neighborhood, to last year running the White House Community Violence Intervention Collaborative, and to be sitting in the seat of power, in the greatest country in the world, talking about that law enforcement is not the only solution to safety in our respective communities. That community-based solutions, specifically community-based public safety or community violence intervention, has emerged as a complementary strategy to policing that is reducing violence and crime and making our neighborhoods safe. And so I just want to thank you all for your continued support, and I look forward to sharing with you all this afternoon during the Public Safety Committee the impact that the work is having with Project Turn in LA. And I'd like to yield the mic to my brother.
Greetings, City Council. The honor is all mine. There's so much greatness in this room. I know so many of you. It is truly a blessing with a dressing and a blessing to be here. As Akila so well said, the work of CVI,
I think I might
to
have
finally
fixed
see
it.
the
I don't
public being put back into public safety and seeing those shared strategies develop, the nexus or the infrastructure
All
to
right.
move city after city.
Hopefully it's not
It's
too
truly
loud
a
on you
blessing.
guys.
To be birthed from LA,
Still can't hear
in
myself
LA,
well.
I love LA. Project Turn and all the other projects, inclusive of GRID, that we're going to try to make sure set the standard that others measure themselves by. We're all in 100%, and I want to salute all of you for your diligence, for your wisdom, for your expertise in making all this happen, including the councilwoman standing right next to me. So salutes, and we'll see you later.
And again, thank you, colleagues, and
It's just
would like to
weird.
invite all of
Now
you
I
to
can't hear
listen
myself,
to the
but the
incredible
machines
work,
are fucking
that this council committed to investing in the expansion and training and support for our community intervention workers. I think it's an important part and an important tenet, not just to allocate these resources, but to measure the success and the
That's a little better. There we
evaluation of
go.
the work. And that's what it goes hand
more
in
my
hand.
mic than my
One does not
headphone.
exist without the other, and so that's why this work is so critically important. I was proud to initiate that investment, a year and a half ago, and to have seen the conclusion of this initial training cohorts. I look forward to the reports that we will be getting today in public safety. I invite you all to be part of it. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mrs. Rodriguez. And gentlemen, thank you for your service. Truly, community policing at its best is when there's community involvement. And so just want to appreciate the unique roles that you're playing, your activism and your creativity. And we appreciate you much. All right, let's go to public comment here in chambers. We've had several folks that are waiting to comment. We've got Mr. Herman, Alvaro Huerta, Alvaro Yu, Sandra Boynton, Donald Harlan, and Rob Kwan. If I've called your name, please come forward.
All right, hopefully that's a little better. I can hear myself a little bit, at least. Just sounds different. Machines are lower. My headphones are lower. The machines are now where they should be, right?
Mr. Herman,
I'm
which
assuming
items
you
have
can hear
signed up
that.
for
Oh,
today?
Mr. Herman.
Mr. Herman, which item said you signed up for? Okay, so we're just going to start your clock.
Oh, what the hell's going on? I gotta figure it out.
So we hear that we need
Smoke.
more alcohol in CD13, like we need more drugs on our street, more fentanyl, and more queers and faggots getting drunk and high, having these symptoms called AIDS. But that's not what I'm here to talk about on public convenience and necessity, because alcohol is a drug that involves all of us. You and I, your family, your children, your grandchildren, and this fucked up city called Los Angeles. But you want alcohol, you want necessity, you want Harris Dawson, and that's what you get. More alcohol, more drugs in California. Thank you, Governor Newsom, dickhead. And then I go to the back of this agenda in regards to what item 43, CD12, I believe its name is Pink Face Krikorian, Dictator, and that of Mr. Lee, along with Mr. Park, who I don't see. So there's certainly problems of the county's executive office on homelessness. You still see the motherfuckers on the street. You still see homelessness, eyesores on your streets. And you, the taxpayers, are paying for it.
Mr. Herman, would you please address council?
Yeah, I'm addressing the people. We, the people of the state of California. that pay the taxes to help homeless people get off the motherfucking street.
It's true.
Fucking retard.
It's true.
And then we go into the community from the city attorney request for additional funding. But why? When the city attorney allows threats and violence due to a public comment on a teleconference call with two individuals, one jackass Armenian and some retard from Canoga Park. And then we go into the other items of the agenda, which there are so fucking many. How can we address them all unless you're like me, a nut with the...
Mr. Herman, please address the council turnaround.
Yeah, I'm addressing the lighting issue. But no, I'm speaking about Mr. Price on Los Angeles Housing Department, LAHD. What's the solution? When do we help people get off the street? When do we stop depriving the American people their dream? A home, a house, and not a tiny house, because the only one who can solve the problem is Kevin DeLeon. Vote!
You can go into general, Mr. Herman.
Now, as far as my general public comment, there are queers, there are faggots, and God hates you. And the reason behind that, because the book of Romans, chapter 1, strictly talks about that. And that's the reason why Bloomfield is married to a black woman, because he honors Genesis chapter 2 regarding a man and a woman in marriage, a bond, a yoke, not a fucking joke, not a fucking attorney faggot, simplified faggot, who talks shit because he only knows how to talk shit. A fucking simplified faggot. But look what they're doing to Trump.
Mr. Herman, okay, so you've been warned 3 times now.
No, I've been warned right now. And I'm on my non-agenda public comment, and you're interrupting me like you always do. So down to my 4 seconds, 42 U.S.C. 1983, politely, fuck you.
And your time's expired.
All right, guys, let
Next
me
speaker,
ask you,
please.
is this loud? Is that a loud drop to you? Is that loud? Is this loud? It's quiet. Great. Sound levels are
Laura
good.
Vasquez,
Barely hear
Bruno
them.
Huizar,
See, to
John
me,
Parker.
it's stupid loud. What
Kate
the fuck
Eggert.
is going on?
Hi, sir. So if you'd remind us of the name you signed up under and what
How
you
does
wanna
that
speak on.
sound?
Sure. My name is Alvaro Huerta.
Is that better?
Speaking, general public comment on item 19.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. My name is Alvaro Huerta. I'm Director of Litigation and
It's the
Advocacy at the Immigrant Defenders Law Center. I'm a lifelong resident of Los Angeles and the son and grandson of immigrants from Mexico.
No drops, no sound.
I'm here to urge you to all to vote yes on the Rep. LA motion, item number 19. IMDEF is the largest provider of removal defense legal services in Southern California and the administrator of the removal defense pillar of the Rep. LA program. We're thankful of the leadership of both the city and the county to make sure that immigrants have the support they need to stay with their families. We've all seen the harm that our unjust immigration system has caused to countless families. Too many of us have firsthand experience with being separated from our own family members and friends. Los Angeles has an opportunity to show true leadership
Getting
on
better.
immigrants' rights by ensuring that we're
on the right
give
path.
legal representation to all immigrants facing deportation. We need a merits plan.
Thank you.
Go to sleep, crazy.
Wow, that's so loud. I gotta go see you now. I gotta go and redo every drop. That's so loud.
Hi, Mr. Kwan.
All right, hold on.
Which
Let's
items
try
have you
this.
signed
Let
up
me
for?
try this.
Public comment.
Okay, we've actually voted on and I think 19 is not open, but you can have general public comment. Sorry about that.
Loud,
All
perfect,
good.
excellent, perfect,
I want to
loud.
start by
I mean,
thanking the
which
council
is
for
it?
moving forward the democracy vouchers motion and Council President Krikorian for scheduling it. Councilmember
Way
Baumann
loud.
for her
Jesus,
leadership.
come on.
And I really love this motion, and seeing that Councilmember Park is signed on there as a second. You may not have been my choice in your race, but earned a whole lot of respect with the way you absolutely dominated the matching
blowing
funds
my ears.
program
Fuck,
and
see?
demonstrated grassroots
How is
support.
one so loud and one so
I just want to highlight one
perfect?
stat from
Don't
the
get
LA
it.
for Democracy Vouchers Coalition.
How is it so
Their
different?
report found that in our last election, in majority white zip codes in LA, the average donation was $13.32, whereas from a majority people of color zip code, it was $2.25. This goes a long way in addressing that. And I just want to end by uplifting item 19 in the Represent LA motion. 2017, we saw this same conversation. It was a really sad one, led by Nuri Martinez, dividing the immigrant community. I beg you not to repeat that.
Eric, I'm just trying to get it right. It was right. All of a sudden, it went crazy. It was blaring on everybody. No, what the hell's going on, man?
So if you'd please remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Kate Eggert.
I give up.
Sorry, can you move a little closer to the mic?
Sorry, Kate Eggert.
Okay.
And general public comment and item 11.
Okay, so we've already voted on 11, but you can talk about it in general, so you have a minute. So please begin.
Okay,
Go to sleep, crazy lady.
First,
That's
I want
loud,
to
man.
thank,
It's loud to me.
Councilmember
I don't know about to you guys.
Martinez
It's our.
for seeing the history that happened.
Try
at,
it again.
Go to sleep, crazy lady.
By 1974, by the time he moved to McAdam Place, Kite's name was already synonymous with gay liberation. He was already considered the grandfather.
Go
of
to
the gay
sleep,
liberation
crazy
movement
lady.
because of what he did at his 4th Street home in Westlake, which should have been made an HCM.
I think we're good there.
Go to sleep, crazy lady.
McAdam, its
Still
next
too
phase
loud.
was politics. That couldn't have happened without the social institutions, the visibility.
Go to sleep, crazy
that he
lady.
created at 4th Street. And at McAdam Place, I mean, we have the Stonewall Democratic Club, and that's one of the largest LGBTQ plus political organizations in the country. And and the No on Briggs campaign, right? So, which is kind of synonymous kind of with what's happening right now. So I just want to say thank you, Councilmember Soto Martinez, for championing that, and staff. Thank you.
Jesus. Fuck. What the fuck happened here, dude? I mean, really?
Go to sleep, crazy
The
lady.
name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Hello, good morning. Bruno and general public comment.
Sure, please go ahead.
Hello, good morning, council members. I'm here to speak on item 19. My name is Bruno, and I work at the California Immigrant Policy Center. I'm here to tell you that no Angelino should face deportation alone.
No change in
Deportation and
volume,
family
too loud.
separation
That's
are
what I see.
life-threatening and
One
impact
after the
the health
next.
and safety
Where
of
am I at?
thousands of Angelino families every single year. I know this because my family was
Perfect.
separated 12
Laugh
years
out
ago.
loud. Better. Volume is
I've
good.
been an Angelino for the past 30 years, a lifelong Angelino, and I've been separated from my parent the last 12 years due to detention and deportation by
I don't
ICE.
know, because it
As a
sounds
teenager,
both of them are
I
loud.
faced
It's not the
District
board.
6
That's
navigating
loud,
my
isn't it?
parents'
And that's the other
deportation
board.
alone. My family was separated.
If anything, it might be
we
the
lost our
mixer.
home and everything in it.
I'm
with
thinking
no
it might be
fighting
the
chance.
mixer
The
that
city
has
of
the
LA
problem.
the opportunity to ensure dignity, due process, and fairness for immigrant Angelinos by passing the motion for the Represent LA program. The nightmare and horrors of family separation are alive and well. You, as a city
Welcome was
council, have
quiet.
the opportunity
Loud
to
as
protect
hell on my
immigrant
side. What is
families
going
and
on?
communities.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's the mixer, dude. Fucking mixer's brand new. It's not even, I don't know. It's
Lionel
3
Barnes,
years old now, maybe.
Michael
Two years old. It
Rasnick,
shouldn't be fucking
Susan
broken in
Shannon,
2 years.
Lindsay Sokanzaki, Delia Inlander, and Lionel Mars.
Man, I'm moving the faders,
High
Rocket.
speaker.
They ain't doing
So
much.
if you'd remind us
It's
of
like
your
they're not
name
even
and what you
controlling
wanna
anything, the
speak on.
faders.
Yes. John Parker, coordinator of the Harriet Tubman Center for Social Justice.
Are we,
I wanted to
gonna
start
do it?
See, that's
agenda
really loud.
point
But anyways,
3.
that's a loud
So we've
drop. It
actually
needs to go
voted on
down.
that, but you can talk about that one
Let's try
in
that
general
one again
public comment
right now.
if you wish.
Are we gonna do it?
I can't use that as a point.
Alas, not. We already satisfied public comment on it, and in fact, we voted on it. It's already.
I don't know,
passed.
June. I mean, it
But
was on
again,
4
you can talk
hours
about it
last
in
night.
general.
In general comment.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to
loud,
recognize the
great.
Black Alliance for Peace, Code Pink, and Red Berets and Women in Struggle, other places.
I don't know, a Pro FX 12
Is it a
channel
coincidence that the embargo was in
Pro
place
FX
for
12.
62 years, and a council president, Mr. Krikorian, and I share the same amount
Are we
of
like
time
gonna do it?
that's been of being on this earth? So he knows the likelihood of making it to this age is greater than
I'm gonna go
mine due to
reunite
the
my
unequal
family,
access to health
John,
care, especially of black and brown
back in
communities.
Mexico.
Now, Cuba has an international record of saving the lives of people of African and Latinx ethnicity, so why can't we be afforded the opportunity in this country that would have saved the lives of those of African ethnicity who died at a greater rate in Los Angeles from COVID-19 and heart disease? The U.S. legislature
mean
is
we're gonna get-
pushing a bill to keep
I gotta turn
Cuba
them all
permanently
down now.
designated as terrorists. It is vital that this council is joined by the nearly 800 cities to put pressure on Biden to stop his continuation of the denial of people necessities for Cuba and low-income communities here. So I want to especially make that sure that council members of color take this.
This sucks.
It does.
And we received your brochure.
I'm gonna have to do every single drop now. I'm gonna have to manually go through.
This sucks.
And turn them all fucking lower. Jesus. Fuck me.
Hello, speaker. If you'd remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Susie Shannon on general public comment and item 11.
Okay, so we've voted on item 11, but you can talk about it in general. So you have a minute. Please begin.
Huge thank you to Councilmember Soto Martinez and his CD13 staff for his unending support for designating Morris Kites Home on McAdam
I know,
Place
Jordan.
a historic monument.
Don't know what's
and we
going
thank
on.
all
It's
the
never been that
council members
way.
who voted for that on item 11
And it's
today.
on both machines, so it's not the
As for
machines.
Morris Kites 4th Street home,
It's either the-
which was
and it can't be the
continued last
cable if
week
it's
by
both machines,
Councilmember
right? So it's gotta
Hernandez.
be
We
the
just would
fader,
like this council to join
the
Stonewall
EQ,
Democratic Club, the LA
effects
Conservancy, and the hundreds of people who have written in to support historic monument status by the city. Councilmember Hernandez, you made it clear last week that you are acting solely in the financial interest of the developer, Westlake, who owns that property. You also created a false narrative that we have to buy that property in order to save it as a historic monument. That's very discriminatory to the LGBTQIA community. We're asking you to please stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Morris. Which items had you signed up for today?
Comment, item 3, and general public comments.
Okay, if you said 3, we've already voted on
Right.
that one, so it'll just be general.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Lionel Morris from the Council District 6, board member with the Sun Valley Area Neighborhood Council. I'm here as an individual. Thank you, Council President Paul Krikorian, for scheduling this item. Thank you, Councilmember Nithya Rahman, for introducing the measure, and Councilmember Harris Johnson and
Has
Soto
nothing to do
Martinez
with the
for your
computer.
leadership in co-presenting this motion.
These
I support
machines aren't
democracy
hooked
vouchers
to the
because
computer.
I believe in democracy. With a quote.
So you
With
can rule that
malice
one
towards
out.
No one.
They go into a mixer.
With charity for all, with
It's the mixer,
firmness to the
if
right,
anything.
and God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in.
There
to
is
bind
no
up the
bit
nation's
rate
wounds,
change.
and to do all which may we achieve, and
Nothing
to
goes
cherish
through
a
the
just
computer.
and a lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations.
It's all wired
Abraham
with
Lincoln.
XLO
Please,
wires,
thank you so much.
XLRs,
Thank you.
direct. Okay, these machines are directly hooked to that.
Hi.
Hi,
So
stinks.
when you get to the mic, could you tell us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on?
Sure, I signed up under Talia Inlander. I'd like to speak on
The
general
model is
public comment and
FX
item 19.
Pro FX
Okay, so 19 is
12.
not open for public comment, but you can talk about it in general. So we'll set the clock for a minute. Please begin.
My name is Talia Inlander. I'm Deputy Director of the Center for Immigration Law and Policy at UCLA. Last Friday, this council unanimously passed a sanctuary motion. Today's Rep. LA motion is a natural complement to sanctuary, ensuring Angelenos ensnared by immigration enforcement have the due process that they need and that all people deserve. No person should face immigration court alone, yet just a few blocks away, asylum-seeking families are being pushed through a fast-track docket initiated by President Biden. A report our clinic produced made clear that most of these families don't have lawyers. This motion would allow the city's funds to help them. While at Public Counsel, I launched a project to provide legal services to deported veterans. In many cases, these vets were lawful permanent residents who, because of service-related trauma, had contact with the criminal legal system. Without a lawyer, they would almost certainly be deported. This motion would allow the city's funds to help them. The city should not turn a blind eye to these Angelinos and so many more, all of whom deserve a fair day.
Gains all the way down.
Thank you.
So on both. And again, remember yesterday when it started happening, it was only on one machine. Now all of a sudden it's both machines.
Hello, if you
so I'm
please
saying
remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
That wouldn't be the cable. That wouldn't be the computer.
General public comment, please.
Please go ahead.
So it's got to be the mixer.
Hi, my name is Michael Drashkovich. I'm a volunteer co-lead with Los Angeles for Democracy Vouchers, and I'm a CD2 resident. I just want to thank the council for your support today of the Democracy Vouchers motion. I especially want to thank Councilmember Nithya Raman for your leadership.
Or the ghost
on
I was
this,
telling you about
as well
might
as
be here.
Councilmember Soto Martinez and Harris Dawson for co-presenting, and of course Council Members Park, Yaroslavsky, and Hernandez for stepping up.
Very low volume.
Seconding the motion.
I don't understand how some people it's blasting their ears out and some very low. Can anybody explain that one to me?
Into our democracy.
Other than you listening
we've
it
made substantial
very low?
improvements to our campaign finance system, but as we've
How does
seen,
that work?
Still
If
too
both
many
of you are on
working-class
full
communities and
blast, how does
communities
that
of
work?
color are left behind. Democracy vouchers
Tell me,
will
how does that
change
work?
by
Either
ensuring
I'm low or
anyone can
high. I can't be
participate in
both.
our campaign finance
I cannot
system.
be both.
And we've seen that happen in
Right? It
Seattle,
cannot
where
be
there's
both.
more donors and more candidates from more communities participating, and record increases in
They're
voter
trolling?
participation. So thank you
Okay.
so much again.
I should just
for
kick
your
him out.
support.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just kick him out. Jonathan Matthew Ramirez. We'll just kick him out.
Hi, if you'd please remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Good morning, Lindsay Toslowski for general comment in item 19.
Okay, so that'll just be general. So if you have a minute, please begin.
Thank you. I'm Lindsay Toslowski, Executive Director and co-founder at the Immigrant Defenders Law Center. We're the largest deportation defense organization in the state, and we also are administering the Represent LA removal.
Yeah, it's not
defense
my
powers.
audio. It's the machines. It's just the
We have
machines.
been advocating for the city to fund a truly
That's all.
universal
Just
representation
the audio to
model
these
since
machines.
2017. And as has been mentioned, this conversation was long dominated by former council member Nuri Martinez, who insisted on doubling down on the politics of exclusion and making us decide who was worthy and who was unworthy of due process. Providing lawyers for people in deportation is a matter of basic fairness. By voting yes, you'll
Thanks,
be
Terry.
moving Los Angeles past these
I was
divisions
scared
and
to
into a
push the
future
buttons.
that is more just and fair
It's
for
going to
all
either blow me out,
Angelinos.
blow you out, and then
As
you
I
guys are
stand
going
here,
to
I
tell
think
me
about
it's
the
low.
hundreds of people who are currently being helped by this program, and by voting yes on item 19, you will be standing with all of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's absolutely screaming in my ear, but you know, it's weird. I'm scared. I don't want to do my thing. It's here, cuckoo. Sounds so loud. I can barely hear myself
I
think.
would like to speak on the closed
That
item
is so
11,
loud.
which goes to the
You guys
general
barely
comment, I
probably
guess.
hear it.
I have
Yes.
been
Yes.
asked to be heard. I'm the owner of the house.
So loud in my
I
ear.
came at the last meeting. I begged everybody
That's
on
wow.
the
That's
dais
so loud
to
on my
please
end.
come see the
See, it's
house.
low to you. How is that?
I asked for a continuance. It was so summarily denied, and Bill Delvac, representing the developer, was offered a continuance, even
Bro,
though
it's
his
so loud.
house, Morris Kite 1, the one on 4th Street, had been before the city council and the commission for 2 additional years. It's over, I get that. Nobody has the courage or the honesty or the dignity or the grace to come see what we asked for. I've worked in public service and social justice.
I'm already
for
crazy today, Terry.
25
Everything has
years.
gone backwards. I tried to do
And
already
this
today.
has been the most soul-crushing and humiliating and awful experience to be caught up in my own city government and treated this way.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I go to turn
you.
my
Next speaker,
headphones up,
please.
it's turning everything up. It just sounds crazy on my end.
I think we need to call out some more names.
Yeah. Call out Mr. Harlan. We have some fun at least, man.
Alberto Gomez, Blanca Espinoza, Janice Minton, Nathia Reyes, Rabia Sen, and Krishna Daly.
So if your name was called, come on up, preferably to your left side. Oh, all right, we've got someone here. So if you would be kind enough to please remind us of the name you signed up under and what item you want to speak on.
Yes, Rabia Sen, and I signed up for general comment, but specifically for item 19.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that'll all be general public comment, so
You're
please
right.
go ahead.
Okay. Again, Rabia Sen, Director of Policy with Esperanza Community Housing. As an advocate for due process in immigration court, we urge you to vote yes on agenda item 19. This motion will ensure that the allocated city dollars will support our most vulnerable community members facing deportation. The fact is that removal defense continues to be a legal resource that unfortunately too many Angelino immigrants seek, and that unfortunately for which there are not adequate resources. At a time, in fact, when there's a rise in other states and local governments who have cold-heartedly persecuted immigrant communities, there is no step or action too small, and so this city needs to step up. They need to step up and lead the way for the rest of the country and leave no stone unturned in this. We can't have a two-tier justice system and be arbiters of who deserves this, and we cannot continue the
No
legacy
updates,
of
Rick.
demonization and division
Has
of
nothing to
immigrants
do with
from
apps,
last
has
city
nothing
council
to do with the
president.
computer.
Justice is about due
Nothing.
process itself, and that's why we urge you to vote yes on this motion.
Don't have a
Thank you.
preamp.
Very much.
No need one, for one. An A-pear tree, you need to take your cat to the vet. It's a sign that they are sick.
Hi. So if you please
Don't
remind
wait.
us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Do not wait.
Yes, my
Take
name is
'em
Jens
today.
Mitchun. I'll use my public comment to speak on number 3.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Jens Mitchun. I was recently elected to the area-wide seat of the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council, and I'm here speaking on behalf of myself. Wanted to talk about the democracy vouchers. I just ran in this election, and as you all know, running an election, it takes a lot of time, and sometimes it takes a lot of money. And this makes it very difficult for most people to be involved.
Don't have a preamp.
And it would be much more
No
fair
need
if
for
it wasn't
one.
just the wealthy who could afford to run in and influence elections. And I've also spoken with a lot of residents downtown, and the feeling is that they're feeling disenfranchised, that their vote doesn't really matter. And their vote does matter, but I think this feeling could be helped if they had, in a small way, a way to be more involved. And I think this voucher program could help. And so thank you to the council for
Well, that's
passing
how it works, Shell.
this motion and for studying it further. And I
Take
look
that in.
forward
These
to
people don't
following
care
this
for
very
you.
closely.
Remember that.
Thank you.
When you vote. So I was looking at, Ron. That's why I was looking over the whole spiel, but
Hello?
it's
If you
just
please
sounds
remind us
different to
of
me.
the
It
name
sounds
you signed up under and what you
low
want to
in
speak
my ears, loud in yours. It's so weird.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Blanca Espinosa.
I'll figure it out.
Mi tema no está
Just another
en la
thing
agenda
that I
de
work
hoy.
on.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Blanca Espinosa, and I'd like to speak
Hi,
on
Blanca.
an issue that is not on the agenda today.
Yo soy organizadora comunitaria en la ciudad de Boyle Heights
I'm a community organizer in the city of Boyle Heights,
y estamos luchando porque hay muchas personas que están en riesgo de perder sus hogares.
and we're fighting for this because there's so many people that are at risk of losing their homes.
Aún las personas que se encuentran viviendo en shelters hoy
Even people that are in shelters today
están en riesgo de perder sus hogares.
are also at risk of losing their homes.
Queremos que ustedes tomen atención a este tema que es muy
And we
importante.
want you to pay attention to this issue because it's very important.
Tenemos madres con hijos que van a la escuela,
There are mothers and kids that have to attend school,
que están tratando de tener las mejores calificaciones en sus escuelas,
and they're trying to do the best and get the best grades they can at school,
que están tratando de tener una vida digna
and they're trying to lead a dignified life,
y no se les está dando esa oportunidad.
but they don't have any opportunities.
Apelo a ustedes hoy
So we have come to appeal for you today,
para que tomen acción en cuanto a esta situación que está pasando con nuestra comunidad.
for you to take action on the situation that's occurring within our communities.
Queremos una cancelación de la deuda de la renta.
We want a cancellation of the backed up debt rent.
Queremos viviendas dignas.
We want dignified housing,
Queremos su apoyo
and we need your support.
todos sus concilios donde ustedes residen, donde ustedes representan a la comunidad,
All of these counselors in every community that you represent,
tienen la misma situación.
they are in the same situation.
Thank
Sí,
you.
señora, muchas gracias.
Hello.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Alberto Gómez y vengo a hacer comentario público.
Hi, my name is Alberto Gomez. I want to come and give my public commentary.
Buenos días, miembros del Consejo. Como le dije, mi nombre es Alberto Gómez. Vengo de parte de la organización de Chirla y la coalición de Fondos de Justicia.
Good morning, counselors. Like I said, my name is Alberto Gomez. I'm here on behalf of Chirla and Members for Justice. LA.
Soy orgullosamente vendedor ambulante y vivo aquí en la ciudad de Los Ángeles por 17 años.
I'm proudly a street vendor and have lived in the city of Los Angeles for 17 years.
Estoy apoyando para incluir la defensa de deportación
And I want to support this inclusive defense for deportations
en el programa que ahora se llama Representar a Los Ángeles.
in this program that's called Represent LA.
Es fundamental que los inmigrantes en Los Ángeles necesitan representación en la Corte de Migración.
It is fundamental for Los Angeles because all of their immigrants need representation, legal representation in court.
Y que tengan acceso a abogados
Yeah,
y
I see a
apoyo
problem
legal.
with the
They should all have access to
with the
attorneys,
meter
to
in
legal
there.
support.
It's weird.
Gracias.
It's
Thank
like,
you.
it's like in
Thank you.
it's like in mono, not even in stereo. But yet I can hear myself in both ears, but it's only showing mono on that side.
Hi, if you'd please remind us of the name
Weird.
you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Hi,
So
I'm
is
Krishna
Kawhi
Daly,
loud
and I'm with
right
Black
now?
Alliance
Is
for
it good?
Peace, and I'm here today to ask for a resolution to take Cuba off the terrorist list.
Okay, you have a minute. Please go ahead.
The lack of healthcare practitioners in largely black and brown communities in Los Angeles has skyrocketed
Perfect.
the rates of diabetes-related amputations. The shortage of physical therapists to help patients learn to use prosthetic limbs exacerbates quality of life, causing social isolation, depression, and the further deterioration of health. Diabetes-related amputations are the #1 surgery at MLK Hospital. Upon my recent visit to Cuba, I learned that they too are faced with
Good?
diabetes.
Okay.
Cuba, however,
Thank
has
you, guys.
invented a treatment that prevents the spread of gangrene,
Mike
thus
is 8 out of
preventing the
10,
need
okay.
for limb amputations. The effect of the drug alone in our communities would be astounding.
No, I mean they're
The
Megami
one and
cables.
only
I bought the
thing
best.
preventing this drug
It's the
use
mixer.
in
So, I'm telling you, it's not the cable.
America is the
Because it's
needless
both
blockade.
machines.
It
Those are
prevents us
different
from having
cables.
any and all
Each
trade
machine has a
equipment,
different
as
cable.
well as all
So if both
educational
machines are
and
doing it,
research
it ain't the
exchanges.
cables.
Neither side is winning.
Megami are
anything
good
with this
cables, man.
blockade.
They're expensive.
Let us
So,
help pass a resolution
best you can
letting
buy.
Washington
The
know to
Ferrari
take
of
Cuba
fucking
off the terror
cables.
list.
Thank you.
for listening.
And
their
again, we
cables are
received
3
the,
times what the other ones are.
And just as a reminder, we received the pamphlet that you all had sent around, so we've got it. Hi, speaker. If you'd please
All right,
remind us
so
of your name and
I
what
put
you
up
want to
my
speak on.
mic a
name is
little
Mark
bit.
Williams
Hopefully
of
my
Jumbo
mic's a
Common.
little.
Please go ahead.
I'm Executive Director of Concerned Citizens of South
man.
Central Los
Just a
Angeles.
gremlin, I guess.
I'm a whistleblower. I received notice from
Whistleblower.
the city attorney's office that they are not interested in intervening in the ongoing whistleblower lawsuit. Why the city attorney would not be interested in intervening in the $500,000 stolen in the Vernon Central community in Prop K dollars. There's only one person in this body who can tell the
That's
city
not
of
true,
Los
Doug.
Angeles to let $500,000 go.
Shitty cables break
and that
fast.
person did it to cover a larger crime of tens, if not
Fuck,
hundreds of billions of dollars.
I think it was like
of theft
200
by a
cables
corporation.
alone.
I've been my
Well, we needed
arrest
7
has been
XLRs.
orchestrated by the same person.
Each XLR is like 30
It's
bucks,
going
40
forward,
bucks.
one way or another, regardless
They're
of what
expensive.
you do.
Depending on length, too, of
Enough
course.
is enough. Do not involve the police in a civil matter. They deserve better.
Wursel?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Craig, you see him?
Thank
Wursel.
you. Lupita Martinez, Rachel Bernke,
He's a Wursel
Raquel
blower.
Reed, Richie.
I don't need 50 feet.
Quintana.
Well, we got 12 feet. I mean, you know, you need some
Davis.
length because you want to be able to move it. Imagine if you say, okay, well, I want to move things around one day. clean it up a
Hi,
little,
if you
change
please
things
remind us
up.
of the name you signed up
You'll
under
be
and what you wanna
stuck.
speak on.
This
Yes,
way you can
Lupita Martinez.
move stuff
and
around.
I'll be doing general public comments, speaking on.
All of a
item
sudden, it
19.
sounds
Sure,
better
please
now.
go
I don't
ahead.
know. Sounds normal
Good
now to me. I
Good
don't
morning,
know.
members of the LA City Council. My name is Lupita
That sounded loud,
Martinez,
but-
and I'm a policy advocate for the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, CHIRLA. I am here in support of today's motion that hopes to include detained and non-detained merits blind removal defense into the Represent LA program. The over-policing and racial profiling of immigrant communities funnels immigrants directly into the criminal justice system. Although robust evidence suggests that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than their US-born counterparts, both misdemeanors and the simple failing to appear in court
Thanks,
can
Armis.
trigger deportation for immigrants. Yet U.S. policymakers continue to draft and enact policies that criminalize non-citizens. We hope today you set the city of Los Angeles in the same course as other cities that have prioritized the need of including detained and non-detained merit blind removal defense into the Represent LA program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Acavano. See, that's so loud,
Hi,
dude.
if
That's
you'd please
louder than
remind us of
normal,
the name you
man.
signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Yeah, Rachel Brunke, and I'd like to ask the council to pass a resolution to ask Biden to take Cuba off the list of terrorist nations.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So my name is Rachel Brunke, and I've been going to Cuba for over 25 years. I'm very proud of my city right now and everyone I hear talking, and I truly believe in this city council. I am speaking for the youth. I'm a lifelong teacher. I'm also a mother. And I'm going to tell you that our foreign policy in Latin America is what drives so much desperate immigration into this city also. This country is driving my godson from Cuba, who is being forced to potentially migrate. He does not want to. My daughter, who's been going to Cuba, she's half Cuban all her life, has found the most safety in the streets ever in her life on the Cuban streets. When I drove down here today, I saw issues of housing, healthcare, safety. There's no peace in our streets. Cuba has been working on that for 60 years.
Thank you.
Sorry, but we don't care.
Next speaker, please.
Hello, speaker.
You can go back to
Buenos
Cuba.
días.
Good morning.
Mi nombre es Rigoberto Quintana
Hello, my name is
Y le ve-
Rigoberto Quintana. Good morning.
y les quiero contar una experiencia, un comentario personal.
I'd like to
Yo
comment
hace,
and tell you about a personal experience.
yo hace 15 años estuve en proceso de deportación
15 years ago, I was in this deportation process,
y no tenía para
Yes.
abogado.
and I didn't have enough money for an attorney.
Y gracias a Dios, mi familia consiguió el dinero de abogado y gané el caso.
But thank God my family was able to raise the money for an attorney, and we won the case.
Y gracias a esa oportunidad, mis 3 hijos son profesionales.
Thanks to this opportunity, now I have 3 professional children here.
Y yo quiero pedirles al concilio,
So I'd like to request of this council,
en nombre de todas las personas que están en proceso de
in
deportación,
the name of all these people that are facing removal procedures,
que es una inversión necesaria y justa
to make this necessary and just investment,
para que el que no tiene para abogado tenga la oportunidad de quedarse.
so that people that didn't have enough to pay for legal assistance may have an opportunity to remain here,
Y así como yo tuve la oportunidad de quedarme
as
y,
well
sa-
as my opportunity that I had to stay here
y sacar adelante a mis hijos,
and be able to raise my children here.
los 3 son graduados de la universidad
Now all 3 have graduated from universities,
y yo les pido de favor para que les den la oportunidad de hacer esa inversión de abogados
I
para
ask you please to make this investment, attorneys,
para que quede la familia unida.
so we can keep families united.
Thank
Eso
you
es-
very much.
Muchas gracias, señor.
Gracias.
Gracias. Like the way he speaks Spanish. Gracias. Gracias. You need to start speaking Spanish to him, and then he'll just be lost.
Hi.
Like,
If
no,
you
I
please
was
remind
just
us of
saying.
the name you signed up under
thank you.
and what you want to speak on.
Sure. My name is Raquel Reed, and I'm speaking under general comment.
Okay, please go ahead.
My name is Dr. Raquel Elisa Reed. I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm working here in the city of Los Angeles. I've made a recent visit to the country of Cuba, where I was able to see providers there and visit hospitals there who are taking care of their citizens and patients there by keeping masks in healthcare, by providing resources to patients, and seeing people at community, hospital, and clinic levels. I'm coming to you today because I would like us to not only keep masks in healthcare here in the city of Los Angeles and in the state of California, but also recommending that you guys take Cuba off the state-sponsored terrorist list so we can continue to share resources between countries as I see that they care for patients, care for their citizens with much fewer resources, and I'd like to be able to do that with my clients here in the United States. Thank you.
So the psychiatrist is now a virologist. What a fucking idiot. Sit down, idiot. Take your mask and shove it in your asshole. I love doctors. They think they know everything.
Hi.
Hi,
If you please remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
my name is Chantel Daniels, and I'm a Los Angeles resident, and I'm also a mental health therapist. And good morning, City Council. I grew up in the inner city, and I had a mother who was a protective factor of us. She'd go outside, she'd tell someone, she'd use exploitative or words that would communicate to someone, get from in front of my yard, what are you doing here? And they listened. She didn't have street cred. She didn't have anything that would make them do it except her voice. They listened. And she got results and protected her children. There were 9 of us.
9.
What I want to also let the city council know is what's important to me is also a no smoking ordinance in multifamily units in the city of Los Angeles. I don't have a protective mother. We have the city council that can perform a motion, second that motion, and then make an ordinance that can protect millions of people in our city. And I urge you to be our protective factor, like my mother was for me. Thank you.
Thank
9 kids. Jesus. The word's
Okay,
expletive.
Sharon Black,
Expletive.
Steve Cece.
She exploded on him.
Kohana. Zucchera. Shimon Shear.
You don't know how to read either.
And Alberto Gomez.
Hi, Speaker. So if you please remind us of the name you signed up under
Gomez is
and
a
what you want to
difficult
speak on.
name.
Sure, thank you very much. My name is Sharon Black, and I'm representing Women in Struggle, a member of the National Network on Cuba. And I'm testifying in general comment. This May, we organized a delegation of
Fidel
young
coming?
LGBTQ plus activists to travel to Cuba to learn about the Cuba's newly passed Families Code. What we learned was nothing short of astonishing. While rights for transgender and LGBTQ plus people and women are under severe attack in the United States.
Oh, Mr. Spindler's
Our
walking
Cuban
in. Look at him
counterparts
with
are
the
making
goat.
great strides in human rights, healthcare, and quality of life. Because of the antiquated laws that continue the U.S. blockade of Cuba and the grossly unfair placement of Cuba
Everybody's struggling,
on the
apparently,
state
Jeff.
sponsors of terror list, traveling to Cuba is quite difficult.
And she's been to Cuba probably
We
twice in
urge
her
the
life,
Los
and she's the
Angeles
freedom
City
fighter
Council
for them.
to place the resolution to take Cuba off the state sponsors of terror on the agenda. It's time to do the right thing, and this resolution will put Los Angeles on the right side of justice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If she wanted me to take her seriously, she should have dressed up like Fidel. Should have straight been Fidel. Now, had you been Fidel, I would have definitely thought,
Hi,
hey,
Speaker. If you please remind us of
you're my
your
lady.
name that you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Yeah, sure. Shuming Cheer for general comment.
You have a minute. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm speaking in support of item number 19.
Or Che
As a
Guevara?
deportation defense lawyer for over 8 years, I represented hundreds of people in detention who are facing deportation. That's why I urge you to vote aye on item number 19. Let's not lose sight of who we're talking about. We're talking about refugees, asylum seekers, lawful permanent residents, citizens who ICE is mistakenly trying to deport, and undocumented immigrants.
Who's my customer base?
We're talking about people
Who
who
was I
came to
yelling
this
at?
country as children, had no choice but to try to survive in under-resourced and over-criminalized neighborhoods, and who have turned their lives around. We're talking about domestic violence and sexual assault survivors, refugees fleeing genocide and war, and formerly incarcerated firefighters. We're talking about people who have long-standing ties to LA, whether through living here, working here, or having family here. At the end of the day, we're talking about people who deserve the same dignity, due process, and fairness that all Angelinos should have. So I urge you to vote aye on item 19. Thank you.
Aye. Why didn't they honor Fidel, like before the whole thing? You know, while I was fixing everything. What did they honor Fidel and I missed
So
it?
For the record, please give us the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Look at
Joanna
him.
Reyes, General Public Comment.
Bro,
Please
look
go
at
ahead.
that. Do you see his face?
Thank you. Good morning, members. My name is Joanna Reyes. I'm the Policy Manager at the Central American Resource Centers. We're one of the contractors for the Represent LA program. We're here to implore the city to expand its investment in our immigrant communities by including detained and non-detained merits blind removal defense into the Represent LA program. Due process should never be categorized to those who are deserving or those who are not. Immigrants can't be seen as second class to this body, despite their history with the criminal legal system that we know is designed to target people of color. When the city made a commitment in 2017 to invest in deportation defense, you all sent a message that was very clear, that we stand with immigrants. Today is an opportunity for the city to reinforce that commitment. We ask for a
Probably
yes
wearing
vote
a
on item
diaper,
19.
Catherine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Probably got a
Good to
fucking
see you.
Huggy on. You know what I mean? He's definitely
this is
wearing
the last
some
call,
diapers
Don
into there.
Harlan, Sandra Boynton, Donald Harlan, Laura Vasquez, Alberto Gomez, Richie Boyocas, Steve Cece.
Man, no Mr. Spindler? Come on, man. There's Donald Harlan. Give us Mr. Spindler. He came
Hi,
in
Mr.
late.
Harlan. Why don't I just tell you which items are available?
Thank you.
So it's items 1, 2, 4, 20 through 43, except for 28 and 34. Those were continued. And item
Except-
40, except for 28 and 34, because those items were continued. And then item 46. So again, it's 1, 2, 4, 20 through 34, except for 28 and 34, and then item 46.
Is that 43 available for comment?
Only in, actually, yes, it is.
Okay.
So let's set the clock for 3 minutes, and then
Thank you,
we'll do
Jorge.
general after that. So please begin.
Thank you.
having one of
I'd
those
start with agenda
backwards
item number
days.
43. This is the CEO and Paul Krikorian handing over motel costs for homeless. That's definitely no. The CEO must be really rich to be pulling money out of her pocket to pay for the homeless in Krikorian's district, because the CEO ain't rich like that. And there's an attempt to call land LA County land. That's not. And Paul Krikorian does that a lot. I don't know if he has some kind of ethnic block that prevents him from understanding land ownership, but it seems to be a problem. Agenda item number 1. Proposition K. Illegal schools, real estate developments, investment funds. Yeah, there's plenty of illegal schools. They don't need more money. Number 2, 641 Northwestern Avenue, nuisance property. The address doesn't match the address. There's $6.5 million laundered through there. I'm not 100% for sure about 641 Northwestern, but that wasn't me in 2000, 2003, 2015, or 2019, and there's $6.5 million already going through there. Okay, I'm from 1981 on that property. Number 3, democracy vouchers to steal campaign funds. Oh, guess what? Those are my campaign funds. If I choose to put a mayor in the city or find a candidate,
So
not
Mr.
those illegal Number 3. Oh, it's not number 3. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sorry.
Let's move on to the items that are open.
Number 4, the city attorney preempting crimes. And diverting criminal cases, yeah, that's a little bit too much since
Yeah.
it's right next to the recidivism that they're going to abuse it with. Number the REAP properties, 29 through 34. I know not 33. I mean 28 through 33. No, there's a big problem that they're presenting properties to REAP where the person or whatever happened in there didn't belong there, and they didn't actually own the properties. For a property to be put on REAP, they have to actually have owned the property when they died or whatever happened. And there's lots of properties in here that the person died or whatever happened, and it didn't belong to them. That's quite a problem that people in the city council put people in properties and get them killed just to sell them in REAP that are there illegally. That absolutely is illegal. It should never be. And that's just terrible what you guys have going on. The street lighting.
Go to general.
Okay. Street lighting's great. Everybody should have street lights, but you shouldn't be paying for street lights for illegal real estate developments. You know what happens when somebody illegally develops the street? They don't get connected. They don't get street lights, all that kind of stuff. There's no tax revenues for you guys to spend on illegal real estate developments. For sure, you'll be excluded from that, even for street lights, you know? That's so sad. Morris Knight, McCadden, 1428, agenda item 11, no. 1428 North McCadden, no. That's totally fake what they made up. Number 12, 1408 Laurel Canyon, no. Nuisance property, illegal. 1802 South Crenshaw Boulevard, beware that one. There's fake accessory reports, definitely nuisance property. This is about the whole Citibank company. The whole company bank called Citibank. That's what that's about. You guys got to take that on, too. You guys want to take on Citibank, too? How do you guys feel now? Housing appeal boards.
Thank you, Mr. Harlan.
How do you guys feel now? Gonna take on Citibank?
Okay.
Oh man, he's
Okay,
a
Jason
fucking
Reedy,
nut.
Audra
I love him.
Vasquez,
Fucking
Sandra Boynton, G. Goat, Arnold Sachs.
Arnold Sachs, fuck yeah, Arnold
Eddie
Sachs is in
Griffin.
that joint, and Mr. Spiller's walking up that motherfucker, and we got Under Over.
Okay.
Before he gets up there, guys, he's the next one. Under Over 12. Put it in the chat room.
Hi,
Under or
please
over
remind
12.
us of the name you signed
I'm
up under
saying
and
he's
what
going to
you
go
wish to
over
find.
12.
My name's Stephen Cece. I'm speaking on general comments.
Sure.
And, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, but I lived here in the 90s, and I just wanted to state my support and let you guys know, the council know in Baltimore, that we passed a similar resolution in Baltimore to end the blockade and to take Cuba off the state-sponsored terrorist list. I've been to Cuba, and I can know firsthand that state-sponsored terrorism, if Biden wants to criticize, he could point right here to our own country where there are hundreds of youth and people of color and poor people who are killed by the police. So if you're going to use that criteria, he could put his own country on state-sponsored terrorism. So I plan on moving back here to LA, and I hope that you guys are on the cutting front. That I always looked at LA as a progressive city. I don't want to move to a city that is scared to be on the forefront. So please consider this resolution and put it on the agenda. Thank you.
Youth with an F. I love it. Here he comes. Youth with an F. I'm saying over. Over 12. Look at him. He's already rehearsing his speech in his head.
Abner, which items had you signed up for today?
Andrew.
I'll just do general comments.
It's already one.
Please go ahead.
All right. So over 8 months ago now, the recordings came out that showed that just confirmed who Kevin De Leon really is. And meanwhile, it seems like none of you are actually interested in trying to get him out of office. From what I can tell, or at least you're not willing to do enough to actually get him out of office. You know, he's pretty much a full-fledged member of this council again. He's doing presentations, he's voting, he's introducing motions, getting them unanimously passed. We know it's only a matter of time before he's back on committees. You know, he needs to resign. And you all need to be doing something to actually get him out. We've suggested all kinds of things you could do to try to push him out, and you all refuse to do them. So, obviously, you're okay, and we all know why. It's because most of you are just like him. And, you know, if he resigns, you'll have...
Oh, it's done on 11! Dang! You kidding me, dude? We got stuck on 11? He came in so goddamn hot. This motherfucker had 7 ums in the first 12 seconds.
Oh, fuck you, City Attorney Fabo. What does it say in the machine?
Sorry,
With the kid in his hand.
I don't know. Why don't you just tell me?
So what's the point of signing up for these items?
Mr. Reedy, I don't know why you're being hostile for no reason.
Oh,
I'll just tell
for
you,
no reason?
the items
You know
that are
why I'm
open
being
for
hostile?
Mr. Reedy, just listen.
You know why I'm being hostile? Public comment. 1 minute. Start my fucking minute.
Go ahead.
All right. I wish Heather was in the room so I could talk about how her renaming a street in honor of Malcolm X doesn't honor his legacy. Voting against this latest budget, voting against police money is how you honor the legacy of Malcolm X. Ugo, you want to quote Mike Davis, you want to be there for the star of Tupac Shakur, but again, if you want to honor those people's legacies, you should have voted against this budget. You should have. You should have voted against the commissioners, as well as Unisys. You should have also voted against these commissioners, Rasha Shields and Errol Southers. I'm not sure if you know who they are, Unisys. Do you know who they are? Did you actually do your research into them before you voted for them? And so why did you vote for them? Why did you vote for those people? You should see the type of shit that they're doing in commission, which is where I just was. And so it was disappointing to see both of you vote for those. But I do give you respect as my council member for voting against this fucking budget. But Ugo, you can't name drop Mike Davis. You can't go to Tupac's star. You're not honoring their legacy. Do better. Do better, Ugo.
Thank you, Mr. Reedy.
Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover. Oh, here he comes, guys. Oh, with a full barrel of coffee this morning and a puppet.
So, Mr. Spindler, which items had you signed up for today?
For Eric, yes. All the goddamn fucking items and general comment.
So that'll be 3 minutes for items 1, 2, 4, 20 through 43, except for 28 and 34, and item 46. Please begin.
Yes. Proposition K. Fuck Proposition K. I don't need it. And Hugo doesn't like it either. I don't like it, no. What about number 2? Let's see here. Oh, yes, Hugo. Thank you for selling out your fellow humans. See, Unisys? Look what a traitor Hugo is on item number 2. Yes, the Color Club, LLC, stands for Liquor, Cunt. On 641 Northwestern Avenue, a nice place to go and get fucked up. Because that's what we all like to do at the end of the day, right there, McOsker? After a long day, we like to have a few buds. And I'm not talking about those blue cans, I'm talking about those green buds. Yes, like to gobble it down, yum, 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 all of that nice liquor. Then you go home to the old lady. Then you slap her ass around. Here, bitch. Make my dinner, bitch. My steak is cold, bitch.
We seem to have gotten a bit off topic, Mr. Spindler. Could we get back on, please?
Yes, I'm trying there, Mr. Fobble. I'm sorry. I'm having a flashback from my alcoholism. Number 3. We have the establishment of the democracy voucher.
Mr. Spindler, we voted on number 3. Would you like to talk about items
Jesus.
number 4 or
I
20
told
through
you that.
43?
Ew! Now, do you want to pass the play? I want to play, Mr. Fobble, yes. So the Public Safety Committee. Programs. Can we talk about that? Go ahead. Yes, from the City Attorney's Office. Well, that's where Fobble works. At the City Attorney's Office to outreach and educate us on our diversion. And, well, Mr. Price knows a lot about that, doesn't he? Remember how wife number 1 was registered at wife number 2's house? Don't worry about it. We diverted it. And, of course, all of you out there, I'm sure you have crimes. We're going to divert you, too. We're going to divert Unisys as well for taking that Austrian vacation at taxpayer expense. and we're going to divert all of you. So, Goat Puppet moves an important amendment, which I'm circulating. Every Angelino should have one free crime per year. Let's give it a hand. Hey. Yes, that's right. It's the Goat Puppet way, the new way. Nithy is very excited about this. You can shoplift, one free store a year. You can have one hit and run per year. All endorsed by the LAPD, no doubt. Yes, we're making a new LA. A bitter, beggar, fucked up LA.
Please go into general, Mr. Spindler.
That's right, yes. Look at that. So what do we have here? How come Kevin DeLion's not here?
DeLion?
And where's Mr. Lee? So we have Marchese, the German traveler. The Grossenschwunz. And then we have Unisys, the Grossenfunz. And then, of course, that petty pink-skinned dictator son of a bitch asshole, Paul Martin Krikorian. Where the fuck is he at? Let's ask Tracy. Tracy, where's the council president?
Well, he's currently in the back hiding because he doesn't want to be out here to listen to you and your filthy, disgusting language. He doesn't tolerate any of that ever, including city contractors.
She's laughing.
No shit. That's right.
Anybody using that kind of language will be terminated.
Okay. Then we move to terminate the Brisboy law firm retroactively of all contracts. That's right. I've done it again. The goat has returned. Fuck
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Your time's expired.
Okay, last speaker before we go to the phones.
That's why he's the goat. The goat.
Hello, Speaker. If you please remind
Oh,
us of your
Mr.
name
Sachs
and
is back there. Can you
what
see him with all his
speak
bags in the aisle?
Yes,
standing
my
up
name is Force, and
in
I
the
would
back.
like to offer
Here he
public,
comes.
general public comment.
Got
on
like
an
4 bags with him.
non-agenda item.
Big ass heavy bags too.
Hi, my name is Tsukuru Force, and I'm a founder and lead organizer of Pacific Asian Nuclear Free Peace Alliance. I'm here to ask you to pass a resolution to ask President Biden to get Cuba off the state sponsor of terrorism list. The designation is unfounded, and the suffering that the associated sanctions and blockade are causing the Cuban people unfair, unjust, and inhumane. The Cuban people significantly lack life-sustaining supplies, including medical supplies. Despite that, during the pandemic, Cuban doctors went all over the world to provide aid, and we owe it to the Cuban people to make things right. I was here in this chamber in 2018 when we passed a resolution to support the UN nuclear weapons ban. I hope, once again, the city of LA will stand for what's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, that will conclude our public
What? He
comment,
said Arnold
in chambers.
Sachs.
Before we go to the phones.
That's bullshit.
I'd like to
I
ask
know you heard him
Councilmember
say Arnold Sachs.
Drummond.
That's bullshit.
Thank you so much. I just wanted
And he's
to,
right
I
there.
didn't call the item special, so it was already voted on, but I did
That's
want to
bullshit.
thank a number of speakers here today who are here
Fuck.
speaking in support of item 3, which we already approved, which is an exploration of the democracy vouchers program here in the city of Los Angeles.
Some bullshit.
It was thanks to the advocacy of many people who came to our office and talked about potential for reform here in Los Angeles on how campaign finance happens that this motion moved forward. You know, I did want to say, I know
baloney,
I'm
man.
here because of a
They won't let
similar
him speak, I
reform
guess,
effort which
Randy.
happened a few years ago, the Matching Funds program.
I mean, you see, he's got a name tag back there. He was standing up and back. I'm telling you, you can go back and rewind it. You'll hear him say Arnold Sachs.
Dominate local politics.
heard his
here
name called.
in Los Angeles. It made it
It's fucked
possible
up.
for me to have a chance against an incumbent, and I think it was a really useful reform because I think it's shown its power in election after election. Democracy vouchers, I think, could move us in an even better direction here in LA, and they're definitely worth looking
Democracy
into.
voucher is a
The
promise to get
program
on their
used in
titty.
Seattle changed
Get
the
up
way
on
in
that
which
titty, homie.
donations for campaigns happened. It made sure that Seattle donors,
The people
were
that
more
vote
representative
Democrat
by
love the
race, by
handouts.
income and age
They
of
love
the
to give the
entire city as
handouts.
a whole.
You know,
in
they want
those
you on
elections,
welfare.
and I really want to thank
They
all
want
of
you
these
on Section 8.
incredible researchers and volunteers who brought this to our attention because I do
Because
think
then
it's
you
really
become
exciting.
dependent on
and I
them.
will say, you know, there's a lot of
Then when they shut you
hopelessness
down, there's nothing
in
you can
LA,
do.
because we
Then you're
confront some
homeless.
really big problems. but we saw the potential for reform and how it changed local politics, and I think we can do it again. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your activism and for your advocacy. Okay, we're going to go to the phones.
It's not
I
fair,
believe,
man.
Mr. City Attorney, we've given instructions already. Do you want to refresh
Should have had Mr.
any
Sack
memories?
talk. Instead, we heard about fucking Cuba 19 times.
Any instructions?
This just the same as before.
Socialism
1
does
minute
not
item,
work.
we've got
Either
3 minutes
does being a
maximum,
progressive.
minute of
Everything
general.
that's
All right, so
progressive
first call,
turns to
please.
shit.
First caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Case in point.
Call.
Hello, can you hear?
Barely hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
We can barely hear you, so if you'd speak a little louder into your microphone, that would help. Which items did you want to speak on?
Not yet, Mad Trees.
Okay, hi, good morning. This is Ernie. Just general
Ernie.
public comment, please.
Great, so you have a minute. The floor is yours.
Ernie, where's Bert?
Very nice. Electric vehicle chargers. We're down this road one more time because I got a brand new one near my home with no signage. Again, not being able to use it is ridiculous. 90% of the chargers in our city have no signage, the correct signage. Most of our chargers in the city are broke down. Most of them are over 7 months and up to 2 years. There is one in the city of Los Angeles that has been down since 2021. All new constructions, regardless of the location, must have parking and must have electric vehicle chargers. We must continue to add electric vehicle chargers, and we must continue to make sure that they're repaired in a timely manner. Hernandez, I just wanted to let you know that
Thank you.
you are
Thank you,
100%.
Speaker.
See, there you go. Case in point right there. They want
Next
you're
caller,
forcing
which
everybody
items
to
would you
go
like to speak
electric.
on?
Forcing them. So now they're already showing you now they can't handle it and they're not fixing charges. So what's going to happen down
Sure,
the road?
please go ahead.
You stay gasoline as long as you
With the Black
can.
Latino Coalition, calling in support of true universal legal representation.
Don't be a
Agenda
dummy.
Item number 19, to ensure the city fully funds all 4 pillars of the Represent LA program without any carve-outs or exclusions. Without any carve-outs or excluding any taxpaying members with residents in the city. This includes trans, gender expansive, intersex, veterans, and system impacted communities. The time for the city to fund care is now. We need to move past last year's leadership opposition to this proposal. As the largest
We have that now, Jeff.
organization in the region and subcontractor for Represent LA, we look forward to working with the city council to ensure that we continue providing legal services and wraparound services to our communities. And thank you, Estefan Fable. Your incompetence.
Yesy,
and
thank you for the
your
gifted one.
Bigotry ensures that I will hear the word faggots and any other racist and transphobic language, even during Pride, the way that you carry these meetings. You're referring to Black community members as hostile just because they speak to you.
Thank
Again,
you.
Thank you. We don't care. Nuclear
Next
and,
caller, which items would you
and
like to
bipolar.
speak on?
Thank you, and I mean, welcome, courtesy of Yesy. Yesy, thank you so much, and welcome to the fam, guys.
Hi, general public comments for
Sure.
number 3, please.
Sure, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kaya Foster. I'm a lifelong Angelino residing
I
in
bet,
California
Rapid
Park
Dog.
District. I want to thank you for passing the motion to study a feasibility.
Wait till you have to change the
for
battery
democracy
in 10
vouchers
years.
Program. I'm trained in
20K?
behavioral science, and I write for a behavioral science publication analyzing public policy. And I had the opportunity to
More
write
than
an
an
article
engine.
about democracy
4
vouchers
engines.
last fall. And in order to do so, I had to deeply review the empirical evidence coming out of Seattle. And I'm very compelled by what the program has already made possible there. I wanted to point out that Seattle government conducted a large study on how vouchers impacted people's attitudes towards the democratic process, and the vast majority of respondents expressed they felt more confident about their ability to compete with other political and financial influences and more encouraged to engage with campaigns for local office. I think the benefits of the policy are numerous, and a feasibility study is a great way to learn more about them. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, there's
Thank
so
you.
much downside to the electric car, but you go ahead, do you. I'm gonna still drive gas till the day I die.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Yeah, hi. General public comment.
Sure, please go ahead. You have a minute.
Okay, so thank you for recognizing the Morris Kite residence at McCadden Place as an historical cultural monument. A special thanks to Council Member Hugo Soto Martinez for his unwavering support. In a time when our nation and our city and our county is embroiled in hate and intolerance, the recognition of Morris Kite's home, an icon in the LGBTQIA community, is much needed and deserved. Please continue your support when Morris Kite's 4th Street home comes before the council again in the near future. I'm a little flabbergasted at Council Member Eunice's objections, but true colors sometimes reveal themselves in these instances, and in Eunice's case, these
Hey, how come
colors
he's not
aren't
wearing his
rainbow
face
and
diaper in the middle?
completely disappointed.
Didn't wear his
Thank
Huggies today?
Thank you, Speaker.
He's going to die. You didn't put your Huggies
Next
on today,
caller,
bro.
which
You're going
items
to
would you
die.
like to speak on?
You'll be dead by the end of the night.
Hello?
Hi, Speaker. Which items did you want to speak on? Or general public comment?
It'll just be general public comment.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. I just want to say that the community of Sullivan Tahunga is sick and tired of the lack of representation by Councilmember Rodriguez. Where was Monica Rodriguez when we had this arsonist setting fires? She did not make any public appearances in front of news reporters to speak out about this ridiculous crime that occurred in the Sullivan Tahunga region. Secondly, now, I do see that you guys have members of the public making comments about asking to remove Cuba from the terrorist list. There's nothing much that can be done at a local level. They would have to get in contact with federal lawmakers at a federal level in order to bring change. And that's my suggestion, because nothing much can be done at a federal level.
I mean, the state level, but yeah.
I guess that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's true, though. Just wasted our
Next
time.
caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Instead, we could have heard Mr. Sachs.
Madam Chair, Raman, thank you so much for bringing this situation to light, matching funding for elections.
I ain't there today.
Mr.
Chilling.
Imatul and Kwam, thank you, and the gentleman that always comes in for the 6th. Just be understood, the lobbyists of bringing another member to City Council for CD6, corporate unions, money behind them of over $150,000 each to be elected. One under, again, endorsed by Monica Rodriguez, the other one from Price. So when we go in to try and make something such diverse community for the community, it's still money behind them. Cuba, I understand all you people listening in and walking in and taking your time off your day to come and plead to the city council.
What's up, Pete?
Yeah, 5 people in the chairs on their phones while you were speaking your heart. Maybe David Wine,
Thank you.
what is it?
Thanks, Speaker.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Caller? We didn't wear a mask today,
Yeah.
caller.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn. I'd like to give a general public comment and also speak on the items. What are the items that are available?
Fuck yeah, Eric.
So the items that are available are items 1, 2, 4, 20 through 43, except for items 28 and 34.
Better give him 4 minutes.
And item 46. Do you want to speak on
Okay.
those items?
General items.
Yeah, I want to speak on the Prop K
So we'll
items.
set the
and
clock for 3 minutes for those items, and then after that, please begin general. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to thank Councilmember Rahman, who's the CD4 councilwoman, for acknowledging the democracy voucher people who came down. She did get into office with a lot of support from that community, and it's very exciting. What's not as exciting is the Prop K sneaky plans afoot at Studio City Recreation Center. Now, there's only been $3 million apportioned, and then another $800,000 and something. But we all know that Congressman Brad Sherman found $6 million to stuff into our open space in a beautiful park where many residents use it every single day in a vital and important way, in order to bring forward something called a net zero high school regulation gymnasium basketball court, which is not what the people of Studio City want. They were, it's been approved by insiders who work for Krikorian, who has left the whole mess to our new council member CD4. So I know she's aware of it. She was out at Moana last week, and I hope that this is not happening. I hope that they're not legitimately going to put up a large building, take down a building that will all go to a landfill.
I'm confused as to
Prop
which
K.
item you're on.
Did he, Sir Westo?
Prop K does not stand for Krikorian. Okay, it's item number 1. You understand what the Prop K assessment is? In 1996, voters apportioned money to do good things for the parks. In our neighborhood, it's been corrupted, essentially, because they got an idea in their snout to make it much bigger and find $15-20 million. We don't want it, okay? We don't want it. We want to fix up the nice place, be outdoorsy. That's what people in Studio City need. Because right around the corner, don't get me started, is Harvard Westlake taking over the public amenity, Mr. Martinez, and all the people who understand what a community is supposed to be. Instead, it's going to be a private school of people who live on the west side and pay $75,000 a year to go to school, and they will take over our public little links and golf course and a place to get a little soft drink. Not nice. Now, going to item number 3 in the general public comment before you cut me off. Yeah. Democracy vouchers is an interesting idea, but like with the matching fund program and the threshold of $25,000, the assumption that you have to have all these people who are agreeing to pay money like Councilmember Martinez did with the $5 donations and almost ran into her FBI. It's not the way we need to do it. We need to, for people who get on the ballot, all candidates should be given some money to promote themselves. It should not be contingent on how many people you can manipulate to do something for you. Giving money to your candidate is not nice. The economics of that are disgusting. There should be debates about ideas. And everybody knows that, but you can't raise up your voice unless the voice is being raised. So all the great effort that goes to the foreshots during city council should be turned into a debate hall when we have election time. People should come in after the meetings and debate one another on Channel 35 so that we can understand that Raman is smart. And, these ones are smart. This one is not. I'm delighted that Mr. Kwan was a...
I'd love to see a debate.
Next caller, which
some
items
of
would you like to speak on?
Usual suspects.
Stinking Pete.
Caller with the last 4 digits, 2988. Please press *6 to unmute.
So speaker with the digits 2988. If you're there, please
gonna
press
fall?
*6
No,
right
he's
away.
on the ground.
Nope.
Or is
Okay,
he
I
gonna
think we ought
fall?
to move on to the next speaker.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
He's on the carpet.
Good morning. This is Brock Landers, private investigator. I'd like to speak on open items and general public comment, please.
Okay, you have 3 minutes for those items that I've read off several times, followed by a minute for general. Please begin.
Thank you. On all the lighting items, between 2017 and today, the LAPD has killed 87 people, 3 were unarmed. During that same time, 203 people have been killed while riding bicycles in Los Angeles. I support any of the items that are going to make our streets safer for bicycles. There needs to be a change to the racist, hateful streets that make it unsafe to ride a bike. Don't get me wrong, it's tragic when the racist LAPD murdered those 84 people that were just robbing a store, jacking a car, or attacking someone in their own neighborhood. At the risk of exposing people's hypocrisy, I think it's time that we address the deadlier threat. 203 unarmed people getting run down just for trying to ride their bikes. The worst crossroads is where Sepulveda Boulevard meets Sherman Way in Van Nuys. For 18, the landscaping at LAX, why don't we give some of that money to Smoke and Scan? We could plant a real cash crop, give everyone arriving at LAX a free joint, share the love. From last week when I couldn't get on, shout out to Johnny G.
So it sounds like you were on general public comment, Speaker. I don't think you were on the items.
Yes, the first one was for all of the lighting districts, and now I will go to public comment.
All right, then go to general now. Then.
Okay. From last week when I couldn't get on, shout out to Johnny G. The math teachers at my son's school are starting an R&B group. They're going to call themselves New Edition. Damon the Smoking Scam. I hate to contradict you, but for the record, Afro Man landed more than just one hit. Eric Previn for City Council. Remember, Brock Landers, LAPI@gmail.com. Stay away from that hot hack Johnny Wad. And White Top, your bone structure is giving my bone structure.
Thank you very much.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
That's too funny. I beg to differ.
Hi, this is Ruth. I'd like to speak on 4 and give general public comment, please.
Sure, so you have a minute for each. Please begin.
Thank you. Okay, so for number 4, it's trying to expand the administrative citation enforcement program for the city attorney. These administrative citations are for crimes that mostly are done by the poorest people in the city of Los Angeles. Things like napping in public, having a suitcase or an umbrella, pushing a shopping cart, things that shouldn't be criminal acts, that should not be acts that carry $237 fines. The fine for 4118 is $237. That's what you would get if you were napping on a sidewalk. But if you were napping while driving a car, your ticket would start at like $110 or $130. It just doesn't make any sense. You see, because you could kill somebody by napping when you're driving a car. But you cannot kill somebody when you're napping on a sidewalk. In fact, you're extremely vulnerable when you're napping on.
Thank you. Thanks, Speaker. Oh, actually, I think you had a minute of general, too, if you're still there. Oh, you hung up. Okay, all right.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
General public comment, please.
Sure, please go ahead. You have a minute.
I am calling about Morris Kite's legacy. Thank you so much, Councilmember Soto Martinez, for supporting us and for recognizing that we have so few monuments and we need all we can get. Morris Kite was a tenant, so he had to move. And so he has 2 houses where he did so much work. The 4th Street house is so important. That is where he earned his reputation as the grandfather of the GLBTQ
I have
movement.
not lubricated it.
What is more, many people worked very hard to be part of this.
Didn't know they required lubrication.
A lot of the people at 4th Street House weren't at McCadden Place. A lot of the people at McCadden Place weren't at 4th Street House. You can't properly honor all of these people without both houses. It's a story, and it requires Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Ulysses, we really need Chapter 1.
Thank you.
Really, really.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
50 guns.
All public items, including public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for items 1, 2, 4, 20 through 43, except 28 and 34, and item 46. Please go ahead, and we'll do general public comment after that.
Point of information, Mr. Bobble. I know you've already repeated, but not everyone was here at the same time. So if you can repeat what the items are, 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, if you want me to repeat again, it's 1, 2, 4, items 20 through 43, except for item 28 and 34, which were continued, and item 46.
All right, so you didn't tell me what each one of them were, but I will start. First of all, on the Cuba issue, I just want to thank the people who spoke out on that. And one of the main reasons I listen to this every day is because I want to hear other opinions and get more information about the situations, not only regarding our city, but our country. And to that gentleman who said he gives out information about bad things doing in the city of Los Angeles. He's kind of like Cuba. He's being blockaded. He'll be called a terrorist because he tries to bring
law and order to this city, and because he just speaks out against corruption, etc., he will be like Cuba. He will be surrounded, and I just hope that he can withstand the pressure that will take place. Now let's go to public comment, Mr. Babo.
Okay.
All right. In regards, the former city council made a big mistake when they took no parking zones and allowed them to be used as parking areas 24 hours a day. On Reseda Boulevard between Cessna and Rinaldi, the street was literally taken over by drag racers. People were popping U-turns at the top of the hill. This is the same place where in November of last year we had some kids killed, and supposedly one of the drivers was one of those guys smoking his dope up there. It's like the Cheech and Chong movie, where all that marijuana smoke is coming out of their cars. But please, this city council must reverse that no parking issue, which has caused neighborhoods to deteriorate because people are parking everywhere and anywhere, and they're destroying the neighborhood. So please, this city council, do what's right and remove that no parking zone 24 hours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Emotional damage.
Next
All about
caller,
that
which items
weed.
would you like to speak on?
He mad. Yeah, Jimmo, he said he had 50 guns one time. He was a part of the
Caller
problem.
with the last four digits,
I need to get rid of them. And
2988. Please press *6 to unmute.
he ain't got rid of none of them. You know he didn't.
Are you there, Speaker?
It was after that shooting in Alhambra.
Okay, 2988. I guess we should move on.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak
caller. Next caller, would you like
Caller
to see
with the
my-
last four digits, 5615. Please press *6 to unmute.
Next caller, would you like to see my
Speaker with the
vagina?
digits 5615, if you're there.
Hello?
Oh, hi. So,
Hello?
yes, we
Hi.
can. What do you want to speak on?
Hi, this is Latia Stevenson. I would like to speak on all available comments. All available items is public comment.
Okay, so that would be items 1, 2, 4.
I know you're talking
20
about.
through 43,
The
except numbers
heavyset
28
redhead.
and 34, which were continued, and item 46.
Welcome
So
to
please begin
Intertech.
with those.
Okay.
Can you please hold?
Is Heather Hutt there?
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Is Heather Hutt in the building?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. My name is Latia Stevenson. I'm the
Heather
mother
Hutt.
who came in with her children multiple times to come and stand before council in regards to the situation that was happening with my family being placed in a very reprehensible condition through the mayor's safety initiative program. After coming for so many times before council, we had Heather Hutt come down off of the podium to come and place come and connect me with the person over at Genesee Center who placed us in a DV place. And at this DV place, I would like to say that my mother, I told them in the beginning, I have 5 children. I have my, as well as me being pregnant with my third set of multiples that was expected like within the next week of me going into this shelter. They said that I will be able to have a family member that come in and assist when I give birth. So my mother, who's 76 years old, who had never
Speaker,
been
sorry
on a
to,
flight
sorry to
before
cut
in
you
her
off.
life.
It sounds like this is general public comment. Do you actually want to speak to any of the items
No,
that
no,
are
no.
open?
I'm speaking on the items as well.
No,
But
no, no,
I
these
just
are
wanted
really
to say
not the
really
items.
Quickly, that they put me and my family out. They put all of my stuff out
So-
in the
so,
street when
Speaker,
I brought my mother, who's 76, to be walking in a
At a
mobility
stretch, we'll
device,
say that was item
and my
43, and we'll give you a
baby.
minute of general.
Third set of multiples.
Okay.
Third
well,
set.
I mean, I wanted to do public comments as well as the safety. It wasn't it was a safety issue that we were put out right out of the hospital. I just came out of the hospital, and I was told by people that they were supposed to be helping my family, but it was made a very, very traumatic experience for my children. All of our stuff was sat outside. All of our stuff was sat outside. I mean, computers, my grandmother's, my mother's medication. We had all of that inside, and they actually took back some of the baby items. We have all of this on record. We recorded it. She took our stuff and put it back in the stores that they had gave us, the baby pack and plays and all of this other stuff, and we had to call in assistance to get them to help because they didn't relocate us. She lied and said that she relocated us. This is Dr. Charmaine Davis. We have her on record lying. We have her on record also breaking HIPAA by showing pictures to somebody who never had she hadn't even identified herself when she came in there to assist us.
Next speaker.
Thank you, Miss Boogers on the wall.
Next
She's
caller,
pissed
which
right
items would
now.
you like to speak
She got
on?
hung up on.
General comment.
Please go ahead.
The following are facts from the Inside Safe program from the CAO report under Council File 22-1545-S3.
Third set of
Majority
multiples.
operations
Third.
are in affluent districts.
Where's Dad?
Not where the majority
Or
of
dads.
houses are located. The state of emergency is not to lure the poor districts to clean up the rich ones. In May, the program has spent $6 million. The monthly cost per placement is $4,700, or about $56,000 per year. At this cost, they can get an apartment with all expenses
Not one stayed
covered.
with her?
Do the math.
Not
public.
one?
What do they get instead?
They was all
a
out.
roach-filled motel room, a ghetto motel. The cost is 27% more than last month, yet placements are down 37%. The data proves Mayor Bass is not committed to sheltering people, but to increasing property values in wealthier districts. The Ghetto Inside Safe program is failing. Mayor Bass should be ashamed.
Yeah, dads.
Thank you.
Not one stayed with her. That's gross, man. She's gross. She needs
One
to
last
stop
call.
fucking.
Last caller, please.
So apparently
Next
she's
caller,
super
which items would you like to
fertile.
speak on?
Stick a thumb in her and she's pregnant, I bet. You better be careful.
Hi. Am I the next caller?
You are indeed.
you
what would you
are.
like
Oh,
to speak
good.
on?
Come on down.
Hi there. My name is Randy, and I'd like to speak on general public comment.
Absolutely. You have a minute, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. So hopefully you can hear me better than Damon, as he had some major technological differences today. I don't mean to be burdensome, but I am saddened by how the city has become a nut city full of lawlessness that has been accepted by all city elected officials, which of whom are all in the same party, by the way. I had an appointment downtown to get myself an Edgar haircut, but there were so many homeless camps I couldn't walk down the street to the salon and missed my appointment. I'm glad you approved the row-bit dog, but I just hope the vocal minority doesn't change your mind. Let the cops do their jobs. They have the hardest jobs in the world, especially with all the police chases. I'm so happy all my favorites are here on my birthday. To my fellow LA residents, Mr. Sachs, Harlan, Spindler, Stacy, Segair, Bollinger, Andrew the Amazing, Stinky, and the whole Smoke and Scan family, vote smarter. I hope I didn't cause any emotional damage. Thanks for the fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Randy. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Okay, thank you. We've had public comment in person and on the phones past hour or so.
Happy birthday, Randy.
Council members, I think we're now able to vote on some items. Mr. Clerk.
That was awesome.
Mr.
Which
President.
items are before us at this time?
Mr. President, in regards to item
Where's your
9,
mask,
is there
bro?
a
You're gonna
second
die.
to
You're almost
the
dead.
motion introduced
I can
by
see it,
Councilmember
bro.
Rodriguez to
Hey, and
adopt
he's
the
still
Public
got the
Safety
greasy
Committee
forehead. I thought it was his hot breath coming out of the diaper. Bro, he just got greasy forehead. That's it. Thank
you.
Yes.
That's it. Confirmed. It's confirmed.
Yes.
The council may now vote on items 2, 9, 29 through 33, and 35 through 43.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
members,
awesome,
those items
man.
are now
Shout out
before
to
us.
Randy.
Let's open the roll.
That's great.
Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
11 eyes.
Happy birthday.
And there is a request to send items 38 through 43.
Dude, sooner or
forthwith.
later, they're going to have to
Without
figure out
objection,
what's
that
up.
will
Like,
be ordered.
it's going to be like one day
Next
we're going to
item.
get 4 of
The council
5
may now
calls are all
consider
going to be
item 4,
smoking
which
scan
is a
calls.
substitute resolution, McOsker Soto Martinez, which requires 2 votes.
Okay, no speakers on this item, so let's open the roll. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
I'm sad that we didn't get to hear Mr. Sachs, though. For real.
10 ayes, 1 no.
Oh, who gave the no?
We also need a vote
Hernandez?
for the item.
Okay, now let's vote on the item. Open the roll.
Oh, boy, you better
Close
get-
the roll, tabulate the vote.
Come on. Oh, another
10
no.
ayes, 1 no.
Henderson, Hernandez, what you doing, man? You about to
Okay.
get took out back.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
They finna
The
be-
council may now
they ain't
consider
passing
item
your shit.
8, called special by Councilmember Park for comments.
Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, too, to Councilwoman Rodriguez for considering this
Yeah,
item
dude,
in
Nissy's
committee,
is going rogue,
as well
huh?
as Councilmember McCosker for joining me to introduce this motion, which advances our collective work to create a holistic approach to public safety. With calls for service to 911
Doesn't
and
Stinks look like a
non-emergency
skunk right now?
dispatch at historic levels, and with staffing at critically low levels, our police officers are drowning in calls, which has led to an increase in response times and resources stretched far too thin. As our approval last week in Public Safety Committee of an alternative response framework reveals, creating this program will require a thorough review of existing calls for service, in addition to unprecedented coordination between sworn personnel, service providers, the
Lonnie,
fire department,
thank you again for
police
all the
service
toys. I just got
responders,
'em.
and city departments.
I got him this
The
morning.
motion
I
before us
appreciate him.
furthers this work by calling for
I got to
a
get some
full
AAA
analysis
batteries for
of
the little
service
mouse.
calls that can be
But the other one I
diverted
set
to
up, he likes the
alternative
other one already.
responses as proposed by the Los
raccoon
Angeles
ball or
Police
whatever.
Protective League,
Weasel ball.
as well as non-sworn personnel who can be deployed to respond.
And thank you for
to
the shirt,
call
but
types.
the shirt, I
We
won't be
should
able to see
turn
that
every
one. You won't be able to
page
see
as
that
we
one,
move
just to let you
towards
know.
Our shared goal of improving public safety in Los Angeles. I would ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
You know, because
Thank you.
it's
Any other comments,
green.
members,
It has
on this
green
item?
and yellow in it. And anything with green and yellow
Seeing
in
none,
it,
let's open the
you
roll.
won't be able to see because of the green
Close
screen.
roll, tabulate the vote.
11 eyes.
I mean, I'll wear it. You'll see what I mean, though. You won't
Next item.
probably be able to make out what it says.
The council may now vote on item 19, called special by Councilmember Rodriguez for separate vote.
That's why I don't wear any smoke and scan
Councilman Rodriguez.
green drip diamond ones.
Thank you, Mr.
You
President
won't
and
see it.
colleagues. Item 19 is one that is.
That's why I made those
we've
silver
already
ones.
engrossed ourselves in this work and committed ourselves as a city to say that we want to represent individuals that are in the process.
No, it's
under
all good,
duress of
'cause I still can wear
deportation.
it.
And I think that is the responsible
enjoy
way for
it.
us to
All good.
address here in the city of Los Angeles the work that needs to continue to be done that honors and respects the individuals that are asylum seekers that
Yeah,
are,
it just turns it
that
invisible, so I'll be
often
see-through
get the rules that
anywhere
get
where it's
exploited
green
to
or
then
yellow.
trigger the
That's
deportation
all.
orders. It's why that in the initial allocation of the Justice Fund dollars, I advocated and fought for the $250,000 set aside that supports deported
That's why
veterans
the
and
cat
making sure
shirts
that we
were
keep them
perfect with
whole.
no green,
Because
no
the
yellow.
reality is
Perfect
that they
on
would be entitled to an entirely different judicial system that would respect them.
She
and
got
their
the old
service
glasses back.
as a
Yeah,
result
Sarah.
of their service to
No more of the cow
armed
ones or
forces.
whatever the other ones were.
However, with the
Giraffe print.
distinction that I make, which I think is really important, is that as we continue to advance efforts that correct what is wrong and broken with our immigration system, which is wrong with so many systems at the federal level, I want to make sure that the resources that we do put forward are wholly dedicated to protecting families from being affected by often ministerial and minor infractions
up,
that then trigger
Cosmic.
these immigration proceedings. But I do have
Well, what
very,
can you do, Truff?
I have
She's
a lot
always
of
got to get a word in
consternation
edgewise.
and do oppose.
Look at all my tie behind her,
advancing
though.
Any policies that would
Pink
in fact,
with daisies on it.
also
I
potentially
don't know about
support
that one,
any
bro.
individuals that are convicted or
Looks like an
charged
ugly tie.
Violent felons of human trafficking or
I mean,
the
pink-
like.
a
And so
straight
for
pink
that,
tie, totally get.
You know, I support the work that we have
You
been
can pull the
engrossed in
straight
this
pink
area.
tie off, but
however, I can't
the
let it be a
daisies,
catch-all
I
to
don't know, my
supporting
man.
or potentially serving any individuals that perhaps are engrossed in
I'll fashion cop you on that one.
charged or convicted of any violent felonies that in fact hinder our public safety. And so for that I cannot support this particular policy, but continue to support the work that we advanced under the Justice Fund.
Remember,
in
she's
the
a
initial
ska fan.
allocation that we approved, I guess it was about a year ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Soto Martinez.
Thank you so much, President
Dude,
Pro Tem.
he's rocking the comb
First of
over
all, I
pretty
just wanna
tight,
thank,
too.
Thank you, Councilmember Price and Councilmember
Definite
Rahman for
comb over.
being part of this motion. You know, we had a very
Still has a lot of hair,
respectful
though.
discussion in public safety. Obviously, we shared this. We have a disagreement with Councilmember Rodriguez. I know she worked on this a bunch before I came here. But to me, the question really comes down to, do we believe in universal representation?
Jedi, you can shoot me
that
pictures.
Everyone
Are
has the right to have a day in court, right? And I believe that.
Do you
that
are you on
despite of what
Instagram?
might
That'd
have
probably
happened
be the
in
easiest way.
past. But more so, I am moved.
You can shoot me some
because,
pictures and I'll give you
what we're
an
talking about
opinion.
is
There's
especially
the
deportation,
link tree right there with
defense.
all my
And
other
so when we think about
places to follow me.
those
Click
folks,
that.
young children,
You'll
that
find
come
the
to this
direct
country,
links all
whether
right
they're in
there.
cages or in high school who are not eligible for DACA. By the way, folks that came to the United States after 2007,
It's right here, Great White.
young folks,
I'm just
do
babysitting. I don't
are
know.
not
I'm like
eligible
round
for DACA.
5 or 6.
So a lot of the
stoned.
folks probably in this room that come here and visit us are not eligible for DACA. They're undocumented. If they were to get caught up or ensnared in the system that has right now, the city of Los Angeles would not be able to help them. And that
Who's
is
getting
deeply problematic
deported?
to me, especially
You
as
just said
someone
you were a
who's worked on
sanctuary
immigration
city
issues,
the
to
other
see how
day.
These things
Who's getting
tears
fucking
families
deported?
apart.
Nobody is.
And so to me, I'm more moved by universal representation, not creating a narrative that pits immigrant families against each other. And so I urge my colleagues, I vote. I think it's the right thing to do. I think it's the just thing to do. Despite, of course, no policy is perfect.
Yeah,
despite
man,
its
trees.
imperfections, I think I still believe it's the right
Believe
thing
it or not, they're
Thank you so
easier
much.
to sell just before the
Thank you,
playoffs.
Mr. Bloomfield.
You know, like right. If I want to sell it now, it's definitely gonna be
Alex,
a
I'm
little
actually-
less.
I'm very
It's
torn on
weird. The
this-
market's
this
weird.
question. I'm very supportive of the Justice Fund and what we've done. Although when I want
And
to
then the
remind folks, when
preseason
we
starts
took on
again,
the Justice
he'll
Fund,
heat up again.
It really was a huge mission creep
Because
for the
Denver
city.
did so
This is
well
not
during the regular season.
Really,
They
what
should
city
be there
dollars,
next year,
are
right?
intended for in terms
Or a
of
top
running of a
contender in the
municipal
West, at
government. When
least.
someone pays taxes to the city, they're paying to get their streets fixed. They're paying to do all the things that we do as a city. But we were in a situation.
No, it's
where
still on
Trump
there,
was
buddy.
president,
It's at the
and
bottom.
He was so anti-immigrant that
It's
we
next to
didn't
the
feel
OnlyFans
that the federal government
link.
was being fair. So we were going to take our city tax dollars and we were going to defend people against the federal government because we felt that they were doing bad deportations, and that's essentially what we did. But we did it in a symbolic way because we don't have enough money to defend. We don't have enough money to create universal representation. I would love for us to have universal representation. I believe in that concept. I think everyone should be represented, even if they've committed a heinous crime. But the reason I'm torn on this is because we only have limited dollars. We only have a few dollars that we're throwing into this. And we're throwing it in largely symbolically. And frankly, when we started this, we said it was going to be temporary during the Trump administration. We've continued it because we continue everything to some extent, but also because we feel like it's doing some good. And
Well, the
symbolically,
property
we wanna
taxes,
make sure
Eric,
that
that's
we're
how
not-
they
we're
do
not
it.
pulling back on this. And we
I mean,
don't-
you
even
can
though
tell, Eric, like, I don't know about where you're at, but where I'm here in Southern California, you can really tell. All the areas that have nice homes, they pay high-end property taxes, some of the highest in the nation, okay? And if you look at the streets, they're all paved. They're almost never a fucking pothole. Clean as fuck, nice and smooth. Then you go to the areas that don't pay that much in property taxes, and you can tell by the streets. It's potholes everywhere you're swerving around. Doesn't look like it's been paved in 25 fucking years. Yeah.
prioritize our city money because their city money
And
is
that's
just
how
a
they
drop
do
in the
it.
bucket.
It's really
and the reason
that.
I'm torn is
They're
because
not
on the
using
one hand,
sales tax
If we're only going to spend a little
or
bit
income
of city
tax,
money
they're
on
using
this,
property
I agree with
taxes.
Ms. Rodriguez. I wouldn't want that money spent on a human trafficker and then having that come back to bite us in a few months that we've spent money defending someone who did something heinous and our limited dollars went there. But on the other hand,
You guys
our
do
money
things
is
that are
largely
heinous
symbolic.
every fucking
It's
day.
not- it's-
You guys are
we don't
fucking
have enough money
scam
to
artists
make
and
this
thieves,
universal. So in that sense,
swindlers,
I could agree with Mr.
grifters,
Martinez
you're all that.
Yeah, maybe we throw in the money and because we want to push us toward that eventual concept of universal representation.
Pothole mania
so that's
in
why
Sun
I'm
Valley.
torn on this,
Yeah, Joe.
about whether or not
North Hollywood.
we should allow the
I mean,
prioritization
they've
of our
fixed it
limited
up a little
funds.
bit, like on
Makes sense to
Lankersham,
me,
but that's
or
only
whether
because
we
there's
push
new
for
shops
universal
opening up.
representation, which
They're
also
trying to
makes sense.
revitalize
So I'm
it
kind
and
of
make that
right on
like
the balance, and I'll
like
make the
your
decision when the bill
Hollywood
comes up.
Strip or something. You know what I mean? Your Sunset Strip of North
Thank you.
Hollywood, essentially.
Councilmember Price.
So it starts there, and then it branches outward. But every street over there can get done. Needs to get done.
You know, remember since the inception
of the LA Justice Fund in 2017, then known as now known, I should say, as the Represent LA Fund. It's been a crucial source
Hollywood?
for our
You mean like
undocumented
the
neighbors
studios,
facing
Jordan? They've already done that. They're
deportation.
already gone.
This is the same.
Told you, my boy, that on Stranger Things, dude. All they do is film in either New Mexico or like I think he said like, was it Alabama? I know it was New Mexico for a while, quite a while. It was cheaper to fly them all out, set up a set over there in New Mexico, and do all that there than it was here to stay here like you normally do and just film because of the regulation and the taxation. So you've already pushed them out. And I can tell you this, that they're already talking about building studios in Las Vegas. Okay, moving all those operations to possibly Las Vegas, where you get a lot more land for a lot cheaper and you're still relatively close. And you can fly people in and out fast. It's 45-minute flight, 47 minutes.
Help in immigration courts across the country.
So every day.
Process.
So it might have been Atlanta. It could have been Georgia.
Human being.
Savage. Maybe you're
right.
Right
now, it's systematically, effectively inaccessible to people in a whole
could have
branch
been
of our
Atlanta,
judicial
but
system,
I know it was New
the
Mexico
immigration
too.
courts. So I applaud
So-
Councilmember Soto Martinez and others for
Because
moving
these
this
states are
forward
enticing them, saying,
and
"Hey,
making
come
some
here. We
so
just
that
want
includes
your,
crucial
your
measures that will help keep our
commerce,
families safe and
all the hotel rooms that'll get
families
filled
together.
up, and everything
So for
else.
that reason, I'm asking.
That's all we want.
Thank you.
Because we know it'll end up bringing. Bringing more.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, colleagues, for putting this forward. Just wanted to uplift that.
Yes, thank you.
I'm grateful for Councilmember Blumenfield talking about the budget and the resources. What I recently learned while touring Family Resource Center in CD1, run by CCMP
Wanted to
and
pick him
through
up
our
and he ran
CIFD
away.
department, is that millions of dollars are generated in taxes by our immigrant communities. And maybe we should calculate the
I don't
number
think I have a
in
foghorn.
total that our immigrant communities generate
Ooh.
and reinvest it back in our immigrant communities. Because what we saw during COVID was that many of them were cut out from relief. So if we're worried about the money, let's just reinvest the money that they're paying themselves. Second, I think that as a city, we really need to end the practice of dichotomizing one community over another, making one community more, giving it more access to relief. One community is not better than another community, and so we've seen how that has actually really fractured our, migrant movement, and how it's made some immigrants good immigrants, other immigrants bad immigrants. So the city, we really need to end that practice, and removing these carve-outs helps eliminate some of that dichotomy of prioritizing one community over another. And this community shouldn't have to face double punishment when they've already gone through the criminal justice system, when a judge has already sentenced them, when they've served their time, probably probation and parole, they finished that. So they should be given a second chance, and we shouldn't throw them away. So I really hope you all vote for this, and hope that we can invest some of our resources in continuing and expanding. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else wish to be heard on this matter? Seeing none. Oh, Mr. Harris Dawson.
Yes, I just wanted to rise and give a brief comment. I think most of the pertinent information has been given by the speakers before, but I was here for the first debate, and I'm here for this one. I'm moved by Mr. Blumenfeld's description of the facts of the case. And for me, what I would put out, and I want as many people who can hear to hear, is, at least in the part of town I'm from, and I think I speak for the whole city, when undocumented people go to work in our economy, they don't skimp. They don't say, I'm only going to half work because I don't have the benefits of a taxpayer. I'm only going to half work because I can't vote. I'm only going to half do the job because I don't have these other rights. And so this is one really small, really small opportunity for us
Somebody
to say
who's texting
to
me,
that community,
they're asking me something. I don't
where
know who
we
it is.
can,
The
we're gonna
number's
have
not
your
locked
back.
in. So.
And I think that is a symbol that we as a city should think about in the broader context. I mean, this city runs on immigrants. It absolutely runs on immigrants, from one end of it to the other.
I'm texting you,
Whether
Doug.
you're going out to eat, whether you're going to a hotel, no matter how you live your life in this city, you're dependent on immigrants. And this is, again, a very small way in which we can say, we want to do you a solid because we recognize that the immigration system under Trump and Biden is still woefully broken.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. And I agree with you, Mr. Harris Dawson. We need to stand right by these immigrant communities. I myself am the daughter of those immigrants that struggle to make it in this country. And we need to do right by the ones
Didn't she already
that do
talk?
show up every
Or
day
am I
and
crazy?
do right by
We know I'm
themselves,
crazy,
by their
but
families.
I know she talked already.
And I want to make sure that our resources are maximized to support those people that show up every day and do deliver for us and do, and do need to be respected for their contributions. But with the limited
Yes, that
resources
was
that we have, I
Gascon.
want
I
to
just
make sure
didn't
that
wanna
we're
tell you.
maximizing it to the people
But I'm
that
telling you now.
get up every day, try to make it for their families, and don't exploit
She
or
was
cause
first.
harm to others. And the only way that I can assure that we are expending our resources in the maximum way possible to honor those very hardworking people is to make sure that we delineate very clearly that all of our resources are dedicated to supporting them. And so that's, I think this council has clearly demonstrated its commitment to advancing the protections for immigrant communities that have been failed by federal policies. And I'm going to, again, for me, it's about making sure that, I'm going to cite even just the profile that was just done on Antonia Hernandez. Sometimes we just take, if you only get part of the loaf, it's the part of the loaf that will help us hopefully advance the progress that we need to continue the reforms that we need at the federal level. And so I want to honor that to make sure that what we do so responsibly to encourage more people to be on board with protecting immigrant communities. But the way that we do that is to do so, in my opinion, in a way that actually honors those hardworking individuals that don't disrespect, injure, or harm any other individuals. This is not to question whether or not people have been harmed or wronged by a judicial process. More so, it's about making sure that we do not protect. For me, I want to maximize the resources for those people that have not committed infractions against other people, violent felons or the like, that I think
There's a violent felon over there.
frankly,
Look at him.
should
Yeah.
not be covered
As soon
by
as
this-
I
by the-
fucking
by
see,
our
he knows
resources.
he's a violent
That's
felon.
all. I
As
cannot
soon as I told him he was and pointed
Thank you,
at him, he
Councilmember
fucking
Rodriguez.
looked up.
Thank you, members, for this.
anybody's a violent felon,
substantive,
it's-
respectful, interesting debate. I would just add a little bit of historical context, I think, to this because, Mr. Soto Martinez, you're certainly right in citing a goal of universal representation for all. I think that should be the goal that we as a society strike. But that's really not what's before us today, because the city will never be in a position to be able to provide universal representation, legal representation in any category of law. And traditionally, the city has not been the provider of legal services to anyone. When the city arrests someone on misdemeanor charges and the city attorney is prosecuting those charges, although that defendant has an absolute constitutional right to representation, an unquestioned constitutional right to representation, the city does not provide a defense to that person. The county does. And that, I think, is the underlying point where we began this discussion many years ago, whether the city should be in the business at all of providing legal representation. That being said, in the years since we had that initial debate, I think many of us have felt, as Mr. Blumenfield, I think, stated, and everybody has stated really, that there is value in this investment. There's value in this investment in demonstrating to our immigrant community that we want to support them against injustices, especially during the time of the Trump administration, but even continuing on since then, the continuing injustices that so many immigrants face. But at the end of the day, this is a relatively small program that will always be inadequate to meet the vast needs of the immigrant community in this city. And so because of that limited scope of the program, I agree with Councilmember Rodriguez that our focus should not be trying to strike a goal of universal representation and then being inadequate for everyone, but rather focusing on those who are, the hardworking immigrant community of this city. And there are others who should be providing that representation to those who, are facing criminal charges or have faced criminal charges of a very severe nature. They are entitled to a defense. They are entitled to
Mr. Herman was
representation.
there. He
But the city's
spoke first,
taxpayers
Roswell, the very
aren't
first
the
guy to
ones
speak.
who should be the primary funder of that representation. And so for that reason,
Did his usual
I'm
shtick,
gonna oppose this
wrapped in an
motion.
American flag with a
Mr. Soto Martinez,
swastika and
followed
had
by
the Batman
Councilmember
fucking mask
Hernandez.
on.
Yeah, I just want to sort of give thank you for that, Council President. I want to give my perspective, my historical perspective on this issue. Because I've worked with immigrants my entire adult life, I never saw the city or the county or the state care about immigrants until Trump became president. And that's because it was, in my opinion, it was trendy to do. It was the right thing to do. People were fighting against, this fascist president. But in fact, more deportations happened in this country with previous administrations. That's the fact. And so when I think about, and this argument about our city resources, what are they used for? They should be used for
Who
the
built
service
the cages?
of the people who live here in the city of Los Angeles. That's when we do our broken sidewalks because people can't walk and they have mobility issues, is because we care about the folks that are handicapped. And so to me, it's true. It's not that much money. I get it. But it's about what message we're sending to that community, right? Every single day, as Councilmember Dawson says, people go work, they pay taxes, they contribute to society, and they get nothing back. They get nothing back from this government. And more than any time during the COVID pandemic, and I say this over and over, when people were at home getting $1,000 from the state and the federal government, undocumented folks got nothing. They went to work and got 2-3 jobs. And so what I'm saying here is that if we value the folks that make our city run, at the very least, what we can do is say, you know what? If you're having issues, you will be represented using some of our tax dollars. And as far as the vetting process goes, that already happens. The organizations that do this work, if you've ever seen an immigrant intake, which I have seen many, you will see that there is an extensive list given to folks about what issues they have, anything, literally everything. And those case managers say, you know what, we have a good case to defend you. And so I trust the service providers that are doing the work every single day to make sure that they're taking the right cases that are winnable. And so at the end of the day, I
Point
speak
is
a lot
he
from
wants
my
you to
shared-
take your
from my
tax dollars and pay
experiences.
for the immigrants.
My parents were undocumented. The people I worked with were undocumented. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of them do not feel valued by the city. And so when I say this is the right thing, I'm coming from that perspective. And I hope folks can see that and vote yes on this, if you're still on the fence.
That's what he wants.
Councilmember Hernandez.
He wants you to take your
Thank
tax
you.
dollars and feel good about
I am
paying
also
for
the daughter
immigrants.
of Mexican immigrants, and I just, when I used to watch the city council online, when Nuri would talk about immigrants, she'd always do this thing where she'd throw certain immigrants or certain Latino communities under the bus and uplift others, like if others were more worthy. And so I take great offense when we talk about good, hardworking immigrants. Do we not realize that the criminal justice system is racist? That we're putting all the onus on the people that have been criminalized instead of taking a step back and realizing, yes, some people need to be held accountable. They've done things, but also this system has come for our communities. Generation after generation, I've seen it. I've hosted expungement clinics for nearly 5 years in Southern California. Most of those people seeking relief for expungements were Black, brown, many undocumented, and the lack of access to these services, you're right, this is a small bucket. We should move forward with this small investment. But we cannot continue, and I will not allow us to continue just talk about, good immigrants versus bad immigrants, hardworking immigrants versus not hardworking immigrants, because that's not how the world plays out. Many times, it's our hardworking immigrants who are also criminalized, riding their bikes. It's been shown when you look at sheriff's data. So please, we cannot keep doing what we've been doing in the past. I don't want to be reminded of how Nuri was when she was referring to our immigrant communities, because when I would watch that, it would impact me on the other side of that screen, because I've worked with a lot of these communities. I've tried to repair some of that harm on our communities. And so this is a small thing that we can do, and we need to do it. 1.3 million people are migrants in the city of Los Angeles out of the 4 million people. That's not something to turn away from. We have an obligation to step up, and this small gesture. So I hope you vote aye on this.
See, so you brought
Thank
him
you,
in.
Councilmember McCosker.
You brought in 6 million into the country. How
Thank you
many
very
have
much,
come
colleagues.
here, and now it's now you got to
very
pay
briefly,
for
I'm
them.
gonna be a yes
See how that
on this.
worked? You gave them the plane
And
ticket. You
there are
gave
a lot
them
of
the
reasons.
$800.
I'm sure there's
Now
a lot
they're
of
here.
reasons on
Now
both
you got to
sides
pay
of this
for them.
equation. I
So what
realize
else is
it's
next?
It's an important
Free
debate, and I
health care,
appreciate
free
all of
rent.
the deep concerns that folks have, but.
See how that's
one
starting
of
to work
my
out?
Guiding factors is that I think the system
Oh,
just
that's
works
fine.
better when people are represented.
The
The reason why
Oh, he
I'm
doesn't
gonna
love
compare it,
me.
I'm going to compare it to our discipline system for LAPD.
Come
The
here.
reason why we want good lawyers bringing the cases on both sides
Come
is
here,
because we want
Stinkums.
good decisions. And here, I realize we only have a little bit of money, and this is not universal. But if we spend our money, I want to make sure it's not our decision about who we're spending money on that causes the case to go one way or the other. I would rather have our money go as far as it can go, which won't be very far, to make sure that we have representation on both sides, because the government side will be represented. Spend our money without us making a judgment about who we're spending the money on, and trust the system that will come out with good results. So I will be a yes. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you.
They're
On that
welfare
point, I would just
enablers.
add, we inherently always will be making that decision by underfunding universal representation. So that decision is inevitable. And in terms of sending a message of support for the immigrant community, this city has been doing that now by funding the Justice Fund now for years. That question is not before us. The question is whether we change the nature of the Justice Fund to encompass a different category of people who will be supported by this legal representation. So I think it's actually not a fair statement to say that we need to vote on this to show our support for the immigrant community. We've been doing that now for 5 years. I
So
think,
they've been
since
bribing
we
the
started funding that.
people they've
So with that, we're
oppressed,
gonna close
essentially.
debate. Let's go ahead and open the roll.
So that way these people sympathize with their oppressor,
Close the
Stockholm
roll and tabulate
syndrome.
the votes.
There you have it.
8 ayes,
Then
4
they end
noes.
up voting for him
This
again.
item is
Keep them in
adopted.
power. So it's all about. Keep
All
them
right,
under the thumb. Just throw them crumbs.
Clerk,
Just enough to
what
keep
is
them
that?
alive.
Bring us
Just
next.
enough crumbs to
The
keep
council
them
may now
alive.
vote on items 1 and 20 through 27.
Okay, those items are now before us. Do any members wish to be heard?
Free
Seeing none,
weed.
let's go ahead and open the roll.
I remember when these idiots were fucking trying to give out fucking a joint for fucking come down and get your COVID shot. You get a free joint. Fucking, I mean, that's how big that sham was. That's how big that scam sham was. Do you remember the videos when they had the doctors and the nurses like 30 deep in a room dancing like idiot moron motherfuckers doing a video? Well, millions of people were dying. Remember that?
Let's go ahead and,
Remember that?
open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
12 ayes.
All right. Are there any other matters
Enjoy the
on
show.
our open session agenda on the that are before us now?
There are no other items for open session. The council may now proceed to close
Well,
session
really,
for item
Silverleaf,
46.
if you ask me, should be hung from a light pole live on television, pay-per-view. Actually, not pay-per-view.
Item
That way
one,
everybody can
without
see it.
objection, it's been requested
Yeah,
to
it's
send
me.
item 1 forthwith. If there's no objection, that will be the order. And with that, we're prepared to go into closed session. So I'd like to ask that the chambers
they're-
be prepared for
so
closed
they're
session.
closing the session.
Thank you to all the members of the public who have been
I
here.
guess that's it, guys.
Appreciate your participating in our meeting.
See if they start talking shit. They're going to mute it here. See, he's already talking shit. Saying something, cops pulling up. Here's a cop. All right, man, you got to get out of here, man. So it sucks. They close it up. So now it's just them talking to each other. And I don't want to listen to this shit. I'd rather get off and try to figure out what's going on here with my sound system and get all that situated, you know. So that way, the next show, it's not all fucked up. But, yeah, it was an alright show. It was an alright show. I mean, not from me. It was terrible on my behalf. I'm saying what you got to see, at least there. Ron, if you ask me, it didn't save anybody. So it's not a life-saving shot. That you know. That's a given. And did it cause more death? I would say yes. I'd say a lot of people either are liars or, you know, it was just very convenient that they got really sick right after. So it is what it is, man. But remember, I was talking about that 2 years ago, right? What was happening? Everybody called me the conspiracy theorist and all that, you know, just because you question and you try to, and you realize how stupid shit was, like that stupid video, and they're giving out joints to, like, literally bribing you with a joint to come take a shot. It's ridiculous. And if you can't put all that in your head and say, wow, this shit is just a sham, I don't know what to tell you, you know? I just don't know what to tell you. You know? All about holding everybody under their thumb. And look, they're still doing it. Don't you hear these guys periodically still coming in saying, stop firing cops and firefighters because they won't bend the knee and take the shot? You hear it. Last couple. Okay, last couple, there was a guy in there saying that very same thing that I just told you. So this ain't some shit that just, you know, we're talking from 2 years ago. We're talking about still happening now here in LA City. It's ridiculous. That's true, Trump. That's true, dude. All right, so I'm going to get out of here, though. I've said enough. Test your smoke alarms just because you need to do that, and they're annoying when they beep. And that was really loud in my ears, but I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't in yours. But, yeah, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to do that now and clean the machines and remark them and try to get it all situated so it's all proper again. And, you know, so things ain't all fucked up. Be more professionally. But thank you guys for everything. I do appreciate you guys hanging out today. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun. And I'll see you guys soon on the next one. And I guess that is it. So you guys be good. I'll see you on the next one. On behalf of Stink Bomb and myself, I'll see you soon.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That was so loud.